Test. 1, 2, 3, test. The microphone's not live. Share screen. What? Oh, that was fast. Not supposed to be live for 6 more minutes. Hi, Don. Can you guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Like, not thumbs up on the video, but in the chit chat. Well, so I scheduled it for 8:35. And it's now 8:20, 8:30 now. I just clicked over. Just a random pop-up live. My wife isn't home. I should center myself more. Right. Nah, that's fine. Oh, it's terrible webcam. Shire Project 2024, my second live of the year. Reason I can go live is that my wife is not home. She just had surgery yesterday, and it's a womanly thing that women have, that they have complications, and she's been having stomach problems and kind of got that fixed. Why is this so low? Technical difficulties. Let me a little better. Yeah, so I'm by myself. I don't like being home alone. She's usually always here with me. And our truck kind of went down. We fixed the back end last year. One of our subscribers sent us a substantial stack of money, like a lot. So we used that money to repair the back end. Then the front of the truck went down. The engine seized. So I had to do something with the oil pump. And we knew that. And it was we only drove it less than 1/8 of a mile from here to the bus stop up the hill, through the forest up the hill to the bus stop. And we only did that for a couple days, and it was just a weird tinging, like the engine, ting, 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 tap, 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 tap. So I knew it wasn't getting a lot of lubrication on there. So then we decided, we check our, what's it called there? Our Cash App. There's another chunk of substantial amount of money. So I'm like, okay, I message the person and tell them, just the person's been with the Shire for 3.5, almost 4 years. And I tell them, you can't send that much money. Is this a mistake? Because you sent X amount of money, and he did it again. So I said, I'm going to refuse it. And he goes, that's not a mistake. He's like, I got you. So I'm like, wow. So we accepted it, and then we saved up, got paid on the 5th of last year, whatever month. And then we went up and had the engine rebuilt, and that took about a week. And now we were getting ready to drive up to the hospital in northwestern Tennessee, almost to the Kentucky border. And she was scheduled for surgery yesterday. But we went shopping, basically up to town. We went shopping. And going up the highway, because of the winter, Tennessee is not used to having like really terrible weather. But we had snow and ice, and the roads were dismal. I mean, potholes, like really good-sized potholes. And the truck at about 60, 70 miles an hour hit one of those big potholes on the highway. There was I couldn't go to the left lane, the passing lane. There was cars all there. And then in front of me, I seen a truck hit it, and the truck bounced. And about 2 seconds later, the windshield got covered in all rocks and stuff. So I'm like, uh-oh, here it comes. And the breakdown lane was just as bad. It was just the road was eaten up. So we try to dodge over it. And boom, boom, boom. And then I'm driving, and every time I hit a little bump, I hear this. It feels like someone taking a sledgehammer, like a rubber mallet, tapping underneath the truck. And I'm like, oh, come on, what's wrong? So I'm assuming it has to do with maybe a blown shock in the front. I get on the back of the truck. I'm jumping up and down the back of the truck, and it's got normal spring soft compression. So the springs are good, and the shocks in the back of the truck are fine. So I get on the front of the truck. I climb up, try not to fall. Because if I fall, I'm getting hurt. Open the hood up. I'm bouncing on the front of the truck, and I'm checking both the springs. Those are working, and the shocks sound good. So I don't get it. So drive the truck. I hit a few bumps, and I had this boom, 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 boom. Go underneath the truck after we got the front, engine repaired. And this winter, we were trying to go up the hill to drop the kids off for school, and I got stuck. So I put it in four-wheel drive low, and I was like, oh, this is no problem. It's only 3 or 4 inches of snow. I should go right up it, you know. And I don't hear the bump. When you hit the four-wheel drive, it takes about 2 seconds, and you'll hear you'll hear it lock in place. You hear the boom, and then you got four-wheel drive. That didn't happen. So a couple days ago, I looked under the truck to figure out what's going on with the vehicle. I look underneath, and I just want to check the four-wheel drive. So they rebuilt the engine, and they didn't put the front axle in. So the truck is out there without four-wheel drive. I don't know why they didn't replace it and put the old one back in. At least I would have four-wheel drive. You have to talk to the guy then. But he did it for cheap, you know. Fixed the engine for $1,500, said and done. And that's where I'm at with that. Just going to read some comments. Surgery. Don, how long did it take you to recover from surgery? Was it day surgery, in and out? She literally, it was 20 minutes for her. I was like, they did all that in 20 minutes. And she's like, yep. And she sounded great. She didn't sound terrible. They had to give her an epidural. That's what she goes, I don't mind the surgery. And I was like, I hate surgery. I don't like getting needles, none of that stuff. And she said her biggest fear was the epidural. She had it during pregnancy, and she hated her epidural. She loved her epidural, but she hated getting it. But yeah, in and out, in and out. They kept her overnight, so this is day 2 without her. Gail, who lives behind us, a couple plots over, she's gonna go pick her up. So supposed to be patient 4 hours away. They kept you overnight, so the same thing. All right. And how long did it take to heal up? Did you feel like crap for more than a week or 2, a month? What was your recovery time? Been watching a couple of different random garden channels. Just posted them to Facebook. Some people out there that are just new to gardening and they're just growing things. Yeah, it was really cool to see them experiment and learn. We're getting around 1st of March. I think I'm going to start my seeds indoor. So I just can't get this camera right. I don't know, I guess that works. It was on Grow Big TV. Big shout out to Joe. We won some seeds. Oh, I'm just gonna shred this thing. Joe, what's up, Mr. Klosky? What's no return address? He's like, whatever I send you, you get. Had several complications. Took about 6 weeks before I felt 80% better. 80% better. So you're still feeling kind of crap. Oh, Okay, yeah, about that scar tissue. My two children, and I knew it was going to happen because I got such a big head. My two children were born C-section. So yeah. And talking about scar tissue, to this day, Sharon fights with the scar tissue itch, like very itchy. She's like, oh, my stomach. I'm like, it's scar tissue. It's because I'm feeling it, rubbing it. Like she's got nice soft skin, and then you get to where the C-section is, and it's a small 6-inch opening, like where they. But they said to come back a while later, they were going to do some sort of trimming on that scar tissue, which doesn't make sense. Because if you put the scar tissue and you make scar tissue and then you try to cut the scar tissue out, when it seals, doesn't that make more scar tissue? See what I'm saying? So. But she's been dealing with the scar tissue itch for quite a while. It just makes her uncomfortable. So something really cool that Joe sent us. I don't know if this is going to show up on camera. I don't have enough light in here. I've got my lights on, but they're low powered. 5 people in chat. Hello. Hey, Christy. I'd have to look that up on the web, and that might just choke out my signal. Just try to keep one tab open. Again, we're off grid, so I can't be abusing the bandwidth that we have here, which is a fantastic device. I get a T-Mobile tower. Works really good when it's working good. But there are days if you get cloud and it's rainy or whatever, or winter, something about it, the bandwidth drops really bad. So yeah, these came from Grow Big frog eggs. He sent us frog eggs. Frog eggs? Eggplant. Thai lavender frog egg. How cool are those? And they're little. So I don't know if these, I think they're edible. They seem like they're golf ball size. Maybe smaller. But mini eggplants. I thought it was neat. Morning, Frank. Just a random live, dude. Just a random live. For the bees and all the pollinators that are going to grow out there, sparkler petunias. Kind of cool. Really good color in them. This one here, it's called a Cosmic Cherry. It is a petunia. It's a Cerbissima. Looks like a cake. You can think of like a dessert, kind of like a dessert cake. How funky is that? So yeah, I'm not a big flower guy. We grew sunflowers 7 to 8 feet here last year on the property. My daughter planted those, so they did really well. And then attracted all the birds. Like we got some serious birds coming in. And I'm not from Tennessee, so I don't know all the bird species. I lived up north my whole life. I know what blue jays are, cardinals, starlings, crows. But down here, and down here we get hummingbirds and whippoorwills. Yeah, really cool. Oh, Dawn, you had a nightmare. That's terrible, hon. Sorry to hear about that. Oh, you got Christy, is yours the big block tower? Yeah, I got a T-Mobile tower. It's like a big box. It's kind of tall. Caddy 5, direct connected into it with my TV. I don't use the Wi-Fi. I just like being physically connected into things. And my daughter uses the Wi-Fi, which we're having problems with her computer. I got to figure out what's wrong with it. I think her hard drive is dying. So it is better service. Yeah, we had Verizon, and it was all right. It was a little tiny, looked like a credit card. It looked like the size of a phone. So our Verizon thing was about this size. It was a little tiny box. And the problem with it, it was run by battery. And you could charge it up to 100%, but you had to know to unplug it. So what we ended up doing was just damaging the lithium cell battery because they didn't make it great. It's not like a phone where it charges up and then it gets to a certain voltage and it shuts off, and then the phone's charged, and then it trickle charges the phone. And then if you feel the back of it, if it's red hot and it's 100% full, yeah, unplug your phone. Don't leave it on the charger. But that little tiny Verizon Wi-Fi box, which was awesome, because we could take it in the car. No matter where we went, we had a Wi-Fi service, and all the kids' devices worked. But the box up there on their website, they say that you can't take it from the property. They're like, once you plug it into the wall. But if you had an inverter, a little car inverter, you could plug it in and you would just radiate Wi-Fi. But I guess it would be hit or miss as you go by the cell towers. But it could be done. That definitely could be done. Let's see, what else did we get? Madhu Ras Rajasthan honey melons. So they don't look very big, and this is what we're excited for this year. Growing some fruits and vegetables that are small. Like, try to understand that we grew pumpkins last year, and they were, the sugar pie pumpkins. Those are wonderful, little tiny sweet pumpkins. They don't have strings in them. They're great. They're very small. We can bring those inside. We can manage them. But then I had jack-o'-lanterns and stuff that were just size of a beach ball, and I'm like, what do I do with that? It's going to last into winter, which is good. And we had 3 of them. So I put it in the backyard and I split one in half, open that up, put it close enough where the goat could reach his head out the fence and he could eat that. And then the chickens were picking on it. It was frozen. It would unfreeze, it would refreeze. So the chickens were constantly feeding off that big pumpkin. So when they got through that, took the husk, I threw that in the back. And the seeds, whatever, they didn't eat all the seeds. Seeds went out. So I don't want those big pumpkins here. I do and I don't. I don't have a use for them, even though I do have a use for them. Could just compost them, make compost out of them, right? Yeah, could do that. But the chickens fed on them, and then right now we're on our 3rd pumpkin. It's mostly eaten up. That's thrown out in the backyard for them to pick through. But my last video that I posted was looking for candy roaster squash, because for us this winter we grew a ton, but we didn't grow enough variety. And because we didn't grow enough variety, we didn't have enough food for the winter. So it was a learning experience. And by saying we didn't have enough food, no, we didn't starve. I did not have enough garden food grown here, homegrown food. If we were in Alaska, yeah, who knows what would have happened to the Shire project. You see what I'm saying? If we were isolated, we would have been in deep trouble. But last year was learning the land. It was year 2 that we were here, and we said we're going to grow some food and put some things out there and see how well it does. Basil, through the roof. Basil loves that terrible clay rocky soil that we had out here. It loves it. Just give me 1 second. I guess I don't want to miss some of the chat, so I just want to read. Yeah, Don, don't get too much into it. I get it. It was a mess, right? It was a mess. And you can't do more than 10. Yeah, I got a bad back. We're in the same boat. Push through pain. You're in the same boat I am. That's terrible. Christy, pumpkin seeds, I heard, are good dewormer for animals, I heard. Yes, and for humans, if you can eat it raw. For giggles, I've taken a bite out of a pumpkin. It is hard to chew. It's good. It's not bad. I've ate some pumpkin before, but it's better cooked in my opinion. But if you cook it, yeah, it's edible. It's more mushy. It's wonderful with butter and brown sugar and stuff. A little bit of salt on there. But eating a pumpkin raw is a challenge. It really is. But yeah, that is true. It is a dewormer. We use it for our chickens. The goat won't touch pumpkin. Yeah, I don't know why. It just doesn't like pumpkin. Yeah, we're all getting up there. We're all starting to push on the age limit, right? It was nice when you were 20, 30 years old. Those were fantastic years. 40, when you hit 40, yeah, you start to notice it. You're like, huh. You get up to 50, I'll be 50, what, almost in a month and a half? Don't feel 50. Yeah, I do. I feel 50. Getting there, right? Chester County. I don't know where Chester. We're in Tennessee. We're in Benton County, right next to the river, which I want to go fishing this year. My buddy John, he's off grid. No, that's a liar. He's not off grid. He was off grid. He brought a power pole in because he's a big baby and he likes to have heat in his house instead of putting a wood stove in. So he's paying for electricity. That's fine. Frank, you do not feel 35. Actually, yeah, but you stand and you work a lot, so you're moving all around. I don't know if you've had any back injuries in the last 20 years. So, Frank, I should mail you my guitar. This thing's in trouble. It just needs love. My strings, everything. It's just since we got here, I think it's all just messed up. Now I got to redo it. I just got to restring it and clean it again. And I want to put the old set of single coils back into it. It's a Hondo I found off of Craigslist for $15. I think I picked it up in Winchester. And then I rebuilt the whole thing. The bridge, took it all out, it was all cracked and stuff. Rebuilt that whole guitar and got it working. So the original set of coils that were in it were fine. They were loud. El Nicos, they were just loud. And then I bought a new set thinking they would be better. And it was just a cheap set of, yeah, Strat. Put that in there, wired it all up, grounded it, shielded it inside. And it sounds chiny, you know what I mean? That ching, 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 ching on the strings instead of just the old set from the old Hondo were just brighter and bigger and deeper. And it scooped everything. It just kind of picked everything up. Okay, so Christy is a neighbor. You're in Southwest Tennessee. We're in West Central. So let me see how the camera works. So this is East Tennessee, Johnson City. And then you got Knoxville. And you start traveling over, and you got our favorite place. Um, oh my God, where Dollywood is. What's that called? A famous place in Tennessee. It's got black bears and everything. Beautiful rivers. Don't get all drawing a blank. Anyways, it's near Greenville. And then, anyways, you keep traveling over here. You got Nashville. There's Nashville in the center. And then you travel over here, and you got Camden, Benton County with the river. That's where we are, right in the middle. You travel over here, you got Jackson. You travel down here to the back end of the state, way down here, you got Memphis, right in the corner. So we're kind of near where Nashville is. Come over, there's the river, and there's Camden. We're right about there. You're 25 minutes from Jackson, so we're going to say we're at least 45 minutes to an hour to get to Jackson. Seaverville, that's it. What's below Seaverville, the famous place? What is that? Gatlinburg. That's where I wanted to live. Uh, so there was a premonition in my life on why I came here. It was kind of like a calling, like you're going to end up in Tennessee. I wanted to. So when am I 50 now? In my 20s, my early 20s, I was a gamer, and I met people from all around the world. There was people from like Norway, Canada. We had a bunch of people in the States from Florida, Illinois, oh boy, Texas. A couple guys from Tennessee is where we met. We went down to Gatlinburg. Yeah, Gatlinburg. Then we rented out a cabin. It was just a bunch of gamers, a bunch of nerds. And we all hung out there for a weekend. We got there on Friday and we were leaving on Monday. So we got to spend at least 2 days. It was a guild, if you know what a guild is while you game. It's a group of people that kind of nerd out. But we met there and we hung out and we rented out the cabin. This was my ex-wife and me. We set the whole thing up, drove down there, invited everybody, gave them all the passcodes, get in and stuff. Just a good time. Anyways, it was beautiful there in that wooden cabin. I got to look around and I was like, there's something about this place that's magical. It is developed, but it is still raw woods, raw country. And where I lived, like for the most part, in Massachusetts, it's swampland, it's flat, and then you get towards the middle and north and back end of the country. Well, the more of the back end of the country, it's rolling hills. And then they get big rolling hills and forest, lots of forest. And when I was driving out there while I was doing my courier service, I was like, oh, this is the Berkshires. The Berkshires are gorgeous. I got coffee burps coming up. Excuse me. So yeah, and I was like, oh, I would love to live in the woods. And then I ended up getting a divorce. There was a cute girl that I grew up with, my current wife, and found her and was very excited to marry her. It's just happy. So we lived in Boston and we were getting pinched. I ended up making like $2,000 take home every month, like taking home a little over $500 a week. I'd make around 800 and I'd take home like 625. And if you lived in Massachusetts, they gouge you in taxes. They tax the tax, they tax the tax, taxing the tax. So I'm looking at my bank account, and I'm like, oh boy, I got 5,000 in there, and then my truck or my car would break, and then I'd end up spending 3 or 4, and then that's gone. And then I'm trying to get back my old job, working hard, anything they'll do, any hours they'll give me. They put me as an independent contractor, paying for my own gas, paying for my own food, paying for, you know what I mean? And I was losing money. I was just breaking even. I lived at a friend's house in their basement, and I was embarrassed, and I had to be under their rule. And wife, awesome person. We grew up with her, was childhood friend. The husband was a terrible person, just a mean dude, just psychotic, aggressive, psychotic. So got out of that situation. And then got on my feet and kind of rented some apartments and stuff. And then we ended up buying just a trailer to save money. I went to Chelmsford, my old hunting grounds, and that was right near my work. So I was like, I need a cheap place to live, save up money so I can go off grid. That was the only thing I could figure. I was like, I need to save money. I need to be able to survive. I'm going to work, and I can feel my back going out. I'm going to work to what? I'm 62, 65, 67 with a bad back, injuring myself even further and further. And I'm supposed to enjoy my retirement. It's not going to happen. So COVID hits. I think we could talk about that now. U2 AI, right? We could talk about CV, right? Can't we? Yeah, the epidemic's over. So that hit. And I was pulling coffins. I was driving those around. I was doing a lot of coffin work. And it mostly affected people that had lung issues, older people that were like on ventilators and that kind of thing, just not breathing on their own particularly, like that wiped them out. So, and we're talking, most of the people, most of the funeral homes I was delivering to, these caskets, they had send me out by myself. These caskets are heavy. When you see pallbearers, well, there's like 6 to 8 people. And it's just me carrying the empty casket, get in and out of the truck, and I messed my back up. And had one day I was locked up completely. I was screaming. I was in my chair. No, I was in my bed, and I crawled to the chair. My back locked up. I seized. I mean, my muscles were frozen, and it just felt like someone took an ice pick and tapped it up the middle of my spine and was just wiggling it around and giggling. It was like terrible. Went to the hospital. They gave me 2 big giant needles in each arm, and they let me swallow this little pink pill. Must relax or something. And about 40 minutes later, I unlocked. I physically could get up. I could stand, wiggle my feet, and I didn't have that pain. But ever since that day, I've had problems. And mentally in my head, I don't ever want to get to that point where I can't walk and get locked up like that ever again. And that's picking heavy things up and pinching my spine. Now about that, what runs this house is a 400-pound lithium battery from a car. So moving that beast around, it's one of the scariest things that I do. I can't have anybody help me. It's got an edge on it. There's with the bottom plate, the battery sit, and the top cover fit together. It's bolted in and around. Read some more comments. Anyways, that battery is nasty to pick up. 400 pounds, and it could kill you. Frank, I think I want to move to Finland. Did you research Finland? You gonna you don't like it? Well, you did Boston like me your whole life, so you're used to the snow. But whatever the advantages are of living there, if it makes life easier, would be something cool. I forget where. I always, just in my back of my head, I wanted to move to Japan. I have a fascination with Japan. I don't know what it is. I just think the culture is beautiful, and just the buildings and the way society works. It's technological. I think it's my biggest draw. Is there's just these cities full of like old technology and new technology, but like bins, like our secondhand stores are very United Statesy, like just old, mostly full of like those old goblets and glasses. They're green stuff you hang up in your windows. This that kind of mom and pop, grandpa type of stuff. But Japan, they've got this electronic levels and levels of like a city building full of electronics and stuff. I just would have fun there. Oh, you did go, so yeah, so you'd know, you know how you like it. Absolutely. As long as you can find work there, you got your skill. So, and well, Frank, you got two skills. He's a musician and IT guy, computer guy. So I mean that's good to have, right? People always looking for that kind of work, and you could work anywhere as a musician, right? For the most part, you play a gig outside, people throw money at you, right? I couldn't do that. I'm just too embarrassed. And there's Joe. What's up, brother? How's Mexico? You growing there? Is it nice? Oh, just a show. There we go, Joe. Uh, Thai lavender frog eggplant. Isn't that cool? And then I got a petunia, but this petunia here that we're gonna grow and stick in there, look like a cake or some sort of dessert. So super Bissima cosmic cherries. That's a free. What is that? What is it? It's just, come on. Isn't that not a freaky plant? That is cool. And then we were asking before. I don't know if anyone caught the last video. We're asking for small melons from people's seed banks because I know that people that subscribe to the Shire project, I've got like myself, got these massive seed banks. I don't want a package of seeds. I can't do anything with 50 seeds in a package. Like pull 1, 2, 3 out, mail them here, and I'll harvest and I'll seed save and I'll be able to grow food here. But yeah, I want it small. So we thought candy roaster squash. I was looking at it. I was like, candy roaster squash. It winters over really nice, and that's what I kind of wanted. I wanted a type of squash that I could store here in a container, or just stack it up. And candy roaster squash seems to fit the bill. So we learned our lesson. We tried to grow big watermelons. That didn't happen. We did grow some of those small sugar sweets. We grew 3 watermelons, little ones, and they were good, But I don't think there's enough nutrients in the soil out here to really get them to grow big. I watered them every single day. I went out and I watered them. So where we put our seeds down in that clay soil, we dig a little pit, and I take the aged chicken manure and the leaf compost, and I'd end up mixing that around. And I drop that in the hole, and I poke the seed in there and just cover it over. Then I have to go get leaves, and I put the leaves over it. Because tell you what, the chickens see disturbed soil, and they watch you plant. They're not stupid. So wherever you put plants in, the chickens will walk over to the leaves, and they scratch it away, and they pick the seed out. I don't want to teach them that. So in order for me to plant, I have to keep the chickens locked up in the coop, and I got to throw a lot of feed in there. So they're busy eating and fighting each other and eating while I plant out in the garden. or I'm going to put seeds and stuff. Reading comments again. Yeah, my wife's not here. She just went through surgery, female surgery. Yeah, not good. But she had to have it done. She was having issues in pain. And just all right, later, hun. Have fun. I will catch you. Mandolin. That's kind of different, you know. Unique. Unique. TH2. Good morning. Bushcraft family. Hello. Just a random live. I'm by myself. My wife is still at the hospital recovering from her surgery, and no, Canada in the house. Rachel, what's up, hon? Look, Rach. Huh? Check those out. Super Bisma. Look like a cake, like a dessert. What are these? What are these? Are you jealous? Are these cool? Oh. Thank you for the prayers and stuff. I appreciate that, guys. Have a form of autism. If you guys don't know, it's high functioning. I'm undiagnosed, but trust me, I'm pretty sure from all the symptoms and stuff, I'm either very stupid or I have what I call God mode, and I'm extremely smart. And I like to be in the smart thing because I feel confident, and I can just, it's like the Matrix. When I look at a device, I can see all the wires and battery and the flow of electrons going through it and how it's built and made instead of just seeing the outside case of it. And I do that with a lot of electronics. When I'm in that mode, that's what I want to be 24/7. But then I have mushhead, where I just am now. I'm just a mushhead, not inspired, not thinking, just nothing happening. And I think as I get older, it's going to lean towards being more of a mushhead. Yeah, they're pretty, huh? Huh, Rich? Yeah. One more look at them, you can be jealous. I don't know how good this shows up on camera, but look at that plant. Isn't that uniquely fantastic? That is gorgeous. When you think petunias, right? You don't think that. You think these, right? More common. There you go. Sparklers. That's what you think when you think of them. But this thing here, that is just crazy. Oh, and then again, for people just coming in, we won Thai lavender frog eggs. And those are little eggplants. Tiny, pretty cool. And then the reason why I did the live, because I'm alone, and just wanted to see if the one person that helped us out. So anyways, small melons. You see the guy's hand over here? So they're only like this. So we're looking to grow some more fruits and vegetables that are tiny, not, and things that may be long and thin. I can stack up for storage. We had a rough time for winter last year. So we have food, but I wanted to have our garden really carry us into the growing stage. So we need food for November, December, January, February, 4 months worth of food storage. And we didn't have that. Is what it is. Get those babies started. How about I just mail them to you? You seem to be the flower girl, Miss Brampton. I don't grow flowers. I don't know what to do with them. I just don't. I just put them in the ground at the wrong time. And the chickens come by and they wipe them out. They just eat them. You know, I can't protect a lot of things here. We have to get our hoop house in. So as a big plan this year is I was going to get the 5-gallon pails, poke holes, get some 2x4s and put the pails on top so you get drainage and airflow underneath and drain out the water. Then we're going to get the leaf mold that we built up last year. A ton of leaf mold. I had to put about maybe 200 pounds worth of leaves in there. It was about 3 feet tall. Right now it's about 6 inches, which means below there's a lot of good, earthy, nasty, yummy leaf mold that I can use to fill up the bottom of the buckets. And then we got a huge bale of peat moss. I was going to fill that in. I'm not looking to fill the buckets up, but I just got to get them over halfway, somewhere over halfway. And then next year I can build on that. And I can add to it, keep adding the leaf mold, the chicken manure, all the we produce soil. We produce some sort of soil behind the goat pen. Something about having that goat. It just washes down all the sediment and the goat poop and all that stuff washes down and it collects and it just piles. It's this black earth, and most of the property has like a quarter inch thin layer of this healthy soil, right? But below that's like a brick. It's just rocks and clay. And I've made videos on that showing what we're growing in. A lot of stuff that has deep roots does not like it. Shallow roots seem to be okay. Oh. Oh. Tammy popped in. Hello. Just give me 1 second to do a few little things here. Click that. Standard. Hit save. Just fixing some things here. Add. Standard mode. Save. Yeah, she'll be home in the afternoon. So I'm probably going to crock pot a meal so she doesn't have to cook. We got a big thing of pork. So, farm down the street ended up sharing with us. They're like, you want some slaughtered pig? And I'm like, could you not word it like that? Do you want some pork or farm-raised pork, not slaughtered pig? How do you say? You want some? I can't do it. You want some slaughtered pig? Yeah, sure. We took venison from the guy that hunts the 143 acres behind us. Yeah, gave us deer meat, made stew and stuff, sent us backstrap. I'll take it. I'm not gonna say no. Which way should I go? So we had a little refrigerator with a Keurig in the microwave down here. Look how little that refrigerator is. Probably 3.5 feet, almost 4 feet in height, and maybe about 1.5 feet wide by 1.5 feet deep. It's got a freezer, and it's got a fridge. And if I could do it all over again, I would have got a bigger size freezer compartment. So we don't use the fridge. Like, what do we use the fridge for? We keep cheese. Who's knocking? Give me 1 second, someone knocking at the door. Oh, it's there. I got keys, so alrighty. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so that was my neighbor Gail. She's gonna go pick my wife up. She just wanted to let me know her generator's running. Keep an eye on it. Take her dogs out in a couple of hours. So I gotta remember to do that. And she's gonna go drive up and grab the wife. Which is good news for me. That is awesome. Whoa, 10 people in the live. I'm just to recap. I'm by myself. My wife went in for surgery the other night to have some of her female problems fixed, and a lot of cutting going on, and a lot of And then I don't know why I'm doing the live. I guess I didn't want to be alone again. So I usually jump when other people's lives are watching. Nobody was up, and I don't do lives. I really don't. I have nothing to talk about. A few things to talk about. Not really. Anywho, getting back to growing food here. Growing food such as small melons and squashes and stuff. My last video was on candy roaster squash, right? It's up no more than 20 minutes. And after I make a video, I go check my email. I just do the usual stuff. Make a video, check an email, and then make coffee, which I do have, thank God. And I get a response from some of you guys might know her, Becoming a Green Stalker, Heidi. Do you guys know Heidi? Becoming a Green Stalker. So she's like, hey, give me your address. And I don't know who she is. Like, I know who she is, but is this the real person? Who is it? I can't just give my address. I don't know who it is. I got kids that live here. I got to protect myself. So, anyways, I double up, I check, conversing back and forth. I allow her to send another email to talk, and then I'm fairly high IQ. I can tell. So the way she's wording everything, I break down the structure and stuff. It's her. I'm like, okay, yeah, she sounds legit. This is pretty much her. Anyways, within a half hour time, she goes, sends the email, and then she sends a second email. She shows a picture. She she's got candy roaster squash in a package. It says the Shire project, Benton County, Tennessee, and she's mailing it out within a half hour. Half hour of that video being made. Someone reached out to me and is sending me a couple of candy roaster squash seeds or a whole packet. I don't know. I just wanted a couple seeds, so that was kind of cool. So I'm gonna make another video asking for pawpaws. That's a joke. I don't want pawpaws. I do want pawpaws. You just can't mail them. If anyone had like a brand new pawpaw tree, I'm not waiting 15 years for that to stop producing fruit in 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Not going to happen. Just not going to happen. So, Urban Bucket Homestead, hi. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for stopping in. And anybody else that I missed? Just give me a second. I'm going to talk about the blackberries we think that are here. I'll tell you what happened. A couple of goats. Clear a lot of wild blackberries. Why do you want to chop down the wild blackberries? I would love to be able, unless you got that many. So I'll talk about blackberries in a second. All right, so squirrels attacking the property. Slaughtered pig, so appetite, right? Slaughtered pig. Processed pig, anything. Pork chops, don't want a slaughtered pig? Oh, yeah, I'll take it. Anyways, blackberries. The land got cleared in the back. We're on 3/4 of an acre. It's 100 feet wide in the front, and it goes 200 feet, 250 feet, 300 feet, 250. Anyways, that far, somewhere in that range. It goes down into Y'all Holler. It goes kind of like this, and then towards the back of the property, it goes like this, and then it goes like this. Not 45-degree angle, but pretty close, pretty steep. So we don't use that back end of the very back end of the property. We can't use just now. If I clear those trees out, I could terrace it. I would need heavy equipment to go in and make the terraces, like the big giant stairs, and then we could utilize that part of the property. Not going to happen. Not in my lifetime. It would take a miracle. It would take somebody with a bucket loader with a long arm reach and want to spend their time and their equipment damage and come back here and do that kind of stuff for me. Could happen. No. Doubt it. Anyways, we get the property cleared out. Guy up the street cuts trees for free. I don't have to pay him, right? He's like, hey, all these good trees, I can have these, right? He's like, I'm going to clear this for you. I can take this. I was like, they're all yours. He goes, you're not going to charge me? He's asking me, am I going to charge him to cut and clear my trees? I'm like, yeah, it's going to cost you $1,000 to cut those trees. No, he's doing me a favor. Yeah, take all the trees you want. So I call Wayne back up and I tell Wayne, dude, you still got trees laying down around here. Oh, you got more trees? I was like, you never finished. Come back in with his buddy Lee, and they're just cutting trees, and they left a big mess in the pile of the yard, all the branches and stuff, which I got to process and take care of if I want to coop some of that yard. Anyways, so it gets cleared out, right? We start to garden in the first half back of the yard where the chickens are. We're moving them around, trying to fertilize the soil, just moving the coop around. And yeah, it's heavy. It's just heavy. So I understand chicken tractor, mobile chicken coops. I understand why they do that, because you can just drag them over fresh, whatever's growing, and they're just going to rip that stuff up. What a wonderful idea. We did that on the 30-acre co-op when we lived in Virginia. We built a chicken tractor. We moved them around. We had the Premier One fencing. It's where I learned how to raise pigs. The Vietnamese potbelly pigs, we learned how to raise those. They bred, and we had 5 piglets born. 2 passed away, and then we had 3. It was Junebug, Junior, and oh boy, I forget the other one. Junebug, Junior, and Pinky, I think. I don't know. Baby pigs are cute. They're very smart. They're very loving, and they like scratches. And they're just the oinky in the face. Yeah, awesome. Baby pigs are great. up, Mike? If it is Mike and the wife, that'd be Heritage. I'm all right. Wife's in surgery. She's in recovery. Gail, my neighbor, just stopped by. She's gonna go up and get her. I've been home alone. You can't leave. You can't leave this boy home alone. I get into things, you know. I do terrible things when I'm by myself. Nobody watching me. Nobody telling me that's a dumb idea. You shouldn't do that. Someone's gonna manage me. Oh. Anyways, the backyard got cleared, and so the birds are pooping everywhere. You know, birds will like see a garden. I got post up and fencing, and we got buckets and there's flowers, and the birds come in and they're like, oh, they can see the bugs, so they're in there feeding. What they end up doing is they pooped out a berry seeds. I'm gonna say blackberries. That's all I can come up with. They're thorned. I don't think they're raspberries. I'm pretty sure they're blackberries. It's pretty common in Virginia. When we lived up in Southern Virginia on the very tail end of it in Jonesville, we have blackberries everywhere. So I'm like, oh, they grow here. So this is great. So I'm looking at the thorny branches. It's the first year of growth. You know anything about blackberries in their first year of growth? You don't get berries. You don't get flower. Nothing happens. You just get growth and spread, you know, just a little bush. That's it. And you can't have a bare leg and walk by that. It'll rip you up. Something fair. I mean, it's sharp. Anyways, yeah, so I thought Belt Loop sneaked in here. He's not him. Okay. So yeah, we got blackberries all over the property. And my son goes out there and he takes our pruners that we bought, and guess what he does with my first year of growth? Cuts everything. I don't see any plants out there. There's very few he didn't get to. So this being the second year of growth on them, I was hoping to see blackberries. That being the case, I have to put cages around them and protect them. Not that the deer come onto this property. They do and they don't. Occasionally a deer will cross through here when they're hunting. So you'll hear the pop, 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 and then the deer will come through and they'll kind of hide on the other side of the property where the woods are. But there's too many people here. In general, by too many people, like every 2,000 or 3,000 feet, there's another camp or a house somewhere in the woods. So they don't like that side. They want the 130 acres that are undisturbed. Right, I agree, Tammy. Black raspberries are delicious, and they're wonderful. And they're a short season, so when they come up, they're only, what, 2 weeks? What do you got, 2-3 weeks to pick them, and then they're gone? Right? So you see them, and you see them, they're white, and you're like, ooh. And then they go red, and you're like, ooh. And then you start hearing the birds, you're like, no! Right? What do you do? What do you do? And then they start to turn that purpley black, and you're like, yeah! And you get out there, and you get a pint of them. You run back out there in a couple days, and you're just trying to beat the birds to them. And you only got 2 weeks to do this, you know, and you try to get a couple pints. And then you got to freeze them and store them or turn them into jam, boil them, add sugar, pectin. We're learning things. Oh, anyways, I made that video. I'm just rehashing, recapping what happened because I know people joining in late. I made a video about candy roaster squashes and our seed bank people that are out there. You guys, you know how you keep seeds. And we just wanted a couple candy roaster squashes, a couple seeds just to grow some food for the winter. We burnt through pumpkin. We burnt through our butternut squash. And we ate all our cucumbers did well. We ate our cucumbers. If anyone watched the videos, we ate those cucumbers like crazy. Every day, when cucumbers are growing, and we had 10 vines of cucumbers, 10 vines. That's dumb. I'm dumb. I need I need 2, maybe 3 vines of cucumbers. That's it. But we didn't know. I never grew cucumbers before. My mother did. My father did. I don't remember. I just remember a wall of cucumbers on the fence. That's it. And then once the cucumbers were producing, you know what happens when you pick a cucumber and there's a flower or something behind it? That's going to turn into a cucumbers in a few days. Yeah, one day, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, day 8, day 9, day 10, day 12, day 13. Time to pick them. Yeah, just in over a week or something. Yeah, they just boom, and they go. So we made the mistake of planting too many cucumbers and not enough root vegetables and not enough squashes and stuff to get us by. Not going to grow giant pumpkins this year. It's waste. There's nowhere to put them. Giant pumpkin is stupid. It's a bad idea for the Shire. But small things, small squashes, small pumpkins, and honeydew melons, any of that stuff. These things here. I want to eat these all year. You know what I mean? It's a lot better idea to have a smaller, more dwarf variety of fruit and vegetable. But this was cute. I had to get that. If anyone didn't see it earlier, Thai lavender frog eggs. Yeah, little tiny eggplants. Those are adorable. And if you missed it, I showed these earlier. We won these petunias. Look like a dessert or a cake. So Super Bisma cosmic cherries. Super Bisma cosmic cherry. Yeah. Look at that. Look like a cake. Yeah, that's a plant. That's a real flower. That's real. Yeah, that's cool. Did I miss anything? Guys saying hi to each other. The deer run from the hunters onto your property. Yeah, in Virginia, right? We didn't hunt there. We didn't hunt on that 30-acre co-op. We get up and the kids in the morning say, go outside, go look. And there's like 6 deer, right? You think that, oh, that's a lot of deer. So we got deer corn. We put the piles up. And we put, not close to the house, but close enough you could see them, you know. So about maybe 60, 70, 80 feet away, we put piles of corn where they were sleeping under the black locust trees. You go out there and you would see all the grass, and in the middle you would just see it all matted and flattened down. I'm like, oh, that's deer. And you look around, you see little poop piles. I'd see rabbit poo, and I see deer poo. So, and back then I was afraid to touch it. I was like, I ain't picking that up. And I'm like, I'm not gonna pick through the grass trying to get and put it in the garden. Like I was, forget it. But yeah, we were feeding the deer, and then some days we would see like 2 dozen, like 20 deer. Just a herd of them moving through, and I was like, wow. So it's cool, you know, it's just really cool. We weren't at a zoo or anything. We're up in Massachusetts. There's a farm, a zoo farm. It's a zoo, and they have a deer viewing area, and they've been rescued or whatever. They're friendly, like they come up and nudge you for corn. Like you're supposed to bring a cup of corn in there and feed the deer. It just keeps them all friendly. But yeah, it was really cool to see deer. Beach Heritage. I'm gonna send you a hard copy of Poultry Scrolls this. I'm because so it's hard to describe here because I'm out on injury and I'm not working and we're just surviving. On my wife has been fantastic. She's handling everything here until I can figure something out. For electricity, I make $5 a day in electricity, so that's $35 a week. So that's whatever that is, 120, 130, 140, $40. That's it a month. That's what I make in power that we don't pay out in electricity. My job is to make solar, so I'm bringing in $100 and something in solar. Again, that's money I'm making. You don't see it, but that's money we're not paying out to a power company. And the whole point of growing food here is to reduce the food costs that's going out the house that we. But we're paying for this house. It's $411. The internet's $40, and the fuel for the generator we buy twice a year. It's about 50 gallons worth we go through. It's mostly in December, January, sometimes in February. We'll put gas in the generator, just a gallon at a time, just to get the battery till the sun gets up and starts charging it. Which the sun's up now. It's 9:30. We're probably pulling in about 380 watts. It hasn't hit the back panels. It's working on the front panels. So the east side is just pulling in 200, 300, 400 watts during the day until it moves over to noontime. Then those back 3 rows of panels, that 3,000 watt solar array gets hit, and then we stop producing around over 2,000 watts of power. It's pretty cool. Eagle Adventures with Eagle Outdoor. What's up, brother? I haven't seen you in a while. Just give me a second here. All right, cool. Forgot what I was talking about. Brain's going. Oh, MB Heritage. So anyways, talking about money. So that's it. It's my income. I do make money off of the Cash App on YouTube. People have helped out, like repair, literally thousands of dollars in repair. Subscribers have helped out behind the scenes. So when I give shout outs and thank yous, there's been some subs that just, they get it. I don't ask for it. Put it down there. They get it. And they somehow at the right time, they send just enough. And they had the back end of the truck repaired. I'll tell you what, that was gas, tank, shocks, struts. It was a nightmare. It's the only vehicle we have. It's our lifeline. So that was, $2,200 fix. They paid, subscribers paid for half of that. I'm not even monetized. They paid for half of that. Yeah. And then the front engine seized, right? The oil pump goes out. And but when we drove it up to town, 30 miles, we got 2 miles from the shop, and the engine seized out and stopped. Well, it still started and rolled forwards, but it would shut off. It just couldn't take it anymore. And you could hear the cylinder wall just rattling in there. It was like ding, 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 ding. I was like, it's gone. So we ruined the engine. Try to get it there. They came out and they towed it to the property and they fixed it. But anyways, we rebuilt the engine. The guy had a spare one. He's like, so I'll tell you what, I'll give you a new engine, used. I'll give you a new engine, new to the truck, but used, $1,500. So the subscribers with their next donation, what came in, paid for $1,000 worth of that. We put the other 500 in. Got the truck home. Yeah, so big thank you and shout out to those guys. They know who they are. Awesome. Couldn't do it without them. We'd be riding bicycles in 10 speeds here. Wouldn't be so fat if I did so, right? Anyways, that's the nightmare. Last week, here's the other part of the nightmare. I mean, I just can't win. We're driving up to town to go get groceries and do whatever we had to do. The winter had hit, made potholes in the highway at 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. 70 miles an hour. We're hitting the potholes. Bang, 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 bang. The pressure switch on the oil from going 40 PSI goes up to 80. It's pinned. It won't go down. So I don't know what's wrong with it. Something's wrong. The light shut off, so I don't have front lights. So I fixed that. Got in, I fixed that. Back tail light shook out. Wire came apart. Repaired all that. Fixed all that. Did my tires. And now we've got this bump, bump, bump. Now there's a rattle whenever we drive on the roads. We're hearing this. Feels like someone's got a rubber mallet, a rubber sledgehammer tapping the bottom of the truck. Boom, 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 boom. Look underneath. When they did the engine, they repaired the engine. The reason why we couldn't get up the snow. Again, these are stories I've already told earlier in the live. How did we go through an hour already? I get it, right? If you need your watch hours, just do a live. Yeah. And it's boom, 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 boom. And I'm hearing all this. Something's loose. So I look underneath. When they rebuilt the engine, guess what they didn't put in? The front axle. I don't have four-wheel drive. I'm off-grid. I have mud. I have dirt. I have leaves. You don't think leaves will stop you? You don't need snow or ice. Pile of leaves. Just a thick falling of leaves. Pile of leaves on a hill. If you don't have good tires, you don't have four-wheel drive. You don't have enough speed. You go, yeah, you slip. Like being on a truck will roll back. Got one tire spinning forwards, but a truck going backwards, and you're not in reverse. I need four-wheel drive. I just do. So I go into the truck, I look. He removed the front axle for four-wheel drive. That's gone. I'll say it. Ban me, YouTube. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. So I gotta get that fixed or repaired by the same dude. I'm like, where's my front? Oh, it was broken. It was it was broken and rattling. It made noise. But when I put it in four-wheel drive, the front tires turned. I had four-wheel drive. I don't care if it was making noise. For him, it was a safety issue. He looked at it. It was like, I guess, as a mechanic's point of view, was like, that's dangerous. Whatever. Let it fall out in the highway. I guess it was dangerous. Oh, he pulled it out. Anyways, got to get the four-wheel drive fixed. Don't have money to do that, but I'm waiting. This off-grid property is a 3-year payment plan. How cool is that? You can own your own home. You can have marshmallow and vanilla ice cream year-round, too, in this frozen mix. It's all frozen vanilla ice cream. It's delicious, right? 8 inches of insulation on the ceiling, open cell spray. 4 inches on the wall. I don't know what the R value is. 3.5 times 4? Something. I don't know. It's like 13 R value. Somewhere in there. We need more. These walls are supposed to be a foot thick. Yeah. R value, 23, 30 plus. Somewhere in there. That's how you do it. You do as thick as the ceiling. You want 8 inches when you do tiny homes. Tiny homes are fantastic. They're great. When you have a tiny home built from a shed, you take silicone. You silicone everything. Anything that has a crack or a split from the inside, if it's a crack in the wood, anywhere, anything that butts together and meets, you silicone that. You don't silicone that, you're going to get water in these. These are a shed. It's not a house. It's a converted shed to house. So I probably ran through about 12 tubes of silicone. Didn't get everything. Made sure it did the what I could see, and we still get a little bit of water seepage. Sucks. So I think I got to go outside and seal it from the outside because I can't do the inside. Get the styrofoam or whatever this is, spray foam. So I don't have access to it. And what we're going to put on here is either paneling that looks like wood, not terrible cheesy paneling, or our dream is to, this house is getting paid off in 3 years. We only got 8 months left. That's another $400 in our pocket per month. So that's good. And that means we can start either, oh, do we finish the house? Huh? And I can't because everything's inside. I can't show you that. My wife is embarrassed. She's like, people won't understand that we got thrown out of the co-op and we moved here, and everything's under the house and everything's piled in the house, and there's no walls, there's no storage. And I'm like, I agree, I know. Our whole entire house is moved into a tiny home, and it's a lot of stuff. There's no room in here, so it's embarrassing for her. I don't care. I'm off grid. Whatever. I'm a guy. Whatever. You know, yeah, those are my underwear. Yeah, they stained, whatever. Stop looking at them. Joking, but you know what I'm saying. I'm a guy, I don't care. She's embarrassed about it, so she's like, don't, she hates this. She hates that you guys can see unfinished walls. This terrifies her. She's like, don't do that. Don't. She's like, get one of those green screens wrapped around you. Really? My channel, you want me to green screen something? I don't go that route. I just don't. I want you to see what it's like for me to live here. I'm the Shire project. I am a city boy. I went down south to live off grid. You guys don't want me to lie to you. You want to see me suffering. You want to see, well, this is where we're at. This is 2.5 years in. We got spray foam in. That's it. We got the floors down. Yeah. There's no wood stove here. It's muggy in here. It's sticky. We have propane heat. I got a Wave 6 donated by my friend. I tell you, I get lucky. I'm telling you. With the truck repairs, the Wave 6 is a $600 device. LP heater, the Wave 6, 500 somewhere in there, donated. The guy's like, oh, I'm not going to live here. You want this? I'm like, and I can't say how much you want for it because I'm not in that position to offer money. So I'm like, yeah. I said, but I refuse first. I'm like, are you sure? I'm like, and then I try to make an argument because it's the kind of person I am. I'm like, there is going to be a situation you're going to need this. You're going to need that heat and that. He's like, no. He's like, trust me, I'm going to a house. I won't need this. So he balanced the score. I came up here as someone with an argument. You're going to need this. You have to have this. I don't want it. Is you sure you? He goes, yeah, but you're going to need it. I said, I know. I was like, well, we have a buddy heater. He's like, yeah, those are wet heat. He goes, I looked those up. He goes, you're going to have a nightmare. Your floors will be wet. Then when the winter hits and you're not insulated underneath the floors, our floors aren't insulated. He says, you're going to freeze over. And we do. She was like, don't tell him what temperature it gets in here. We've been down to 41 degrees in the house. It's chilly, you know, thick and we got tons of blankets here, but it's not for everybody. Being from the north, I'm used to cold weather, but sleeping at night nice and cold, I like it. I do. Don't bother me. Fine, I'm fine with it. It is cold. Not fair to the kids, you know. Tell them put double socks up. I make sure they have they sleep on a comforter, and then they have their felt blankets. I don't know what they call those. Felt material. One of these things. These throws, you know, these fuzzy things. They got one of those, and then they got a big comforter that goes over the top of them, so they're layered, and they sleep on that. It's the only way to get through winter here. Should be reading some of this stuff. Give me a second. I don't want to ignore you guys. I just oddly getting into talking. So there's yeah, that's a good thing. Back order. MB, I want to buy one from you. I'd rather buy the book, Mike. I'd just rather something cool. It's all about chickens. If you guys don't know, MB Heritage Farm, they wrote a book about chickens, and he's like a chicken master. If you didn't know, like knows more. Okay, this is how smart he is. He tells you that when the chicken egg is white and it's being passed through the chicken, when it goes through the cloaca and it's coming out, it gets coated, right? It gets coated and colored. It gets colored. It gets colored at that point. And then it's got the bloom put on it, and it pops out, and there's your egg, colored, coated, sealed, and delivered. Things I didn't know. Showed you the chicken master. He knows these things. So knows this stuff. Anyways, he's got a soft cover book. Hardcover book, wonderful. Nice. It's tough. So I wanted to buy the book. And we know them. You know, we know them. So it would be kind of cool to talk about show. And give me another topic and video talk on and learn some things. There's a lot of stuff in that book that I have no clue of. I know the basics to raising chickens. I know the basic temperature. I know the basic time. I know how to basically feed them, how to keep them clean, dry, and I know when to push them out the door, and I know when to expect eggs. 8.5, 9.5 months later, you should get eggs. They're not producing eggs. Could be a rooster. but you know if it was a rooster. You'd see the tail, see the thickness of the legs, you'd see this, you'd see this, and the, you get that. So, still reading here. I'm all over the place. Just bear with me. I'm not a professional. I have no clue what I'm doing. Oh, give me a second. Hi, Rebecca. Again, I see I missed a few people. Let me do that. Put as a standard and saved. I want it to get to Eagle Outdoors. Go here. Do that. Save. All right, should be good. Just reading. Herman Bucket Homestead. I agree. I understand. It's real life. Yes. It is what it is. If you're looking to watch an off-grid channel that produces content and you want to see them suffer, we're not glam. I didn't come from did hit for the lottery, was a millionaire at one point in my life, really was. Hit the lottery, $10 scratch ticket, got a $1 million. Lived that life, was miserable. Had everything I ever wanted. I was bored out of my mind. I have to be kept busy. And yeah, I wasn't. And yeah. Anyways, but being a poor person, I appreciate the dollar much more, and I make better decisions when I struggle with money. Yeah, because I'm bad with money. If I have too much of it, I don't know what to do with it, and I just waste it. If I don't have enough of it, if I get just enough, I will pick and choose things that I need and make smarter decisions, because you can't just afford everything. So that's how I stand on money. Scrolling down here, reading. Fleece, yes. Fleece blankets, thank you. Appreciate that. So it's the Shire project at gmail.com. It is on our about page. I'm pretty sure I stuck it on there. Yeah, what was I talking about? So yeah, we're gonna grow some food this year and try to step it up a notch. The chickens were in the back and they just annihilated everything. All our starts that were put out there, they ate everything. What was saving our butt, which saved a lot of the things that were growing out there, which saved our hide, was the red clover seed that we had seeded through. We put like 10,000 seeds out there, just seeded that place, and the chickens were feeding and picking off. I fill them up with feed first, and then go eat the bugs. And then when they rather have bugs than eat greens, there was no bugs around. After they picked through, got bored, they came back into the yard and they just started eating everything that was green that looked edible. And the clovers are the first thing they hit. So, kind of messed with the bees' food. I want bees that are in the neighborhood, because I know there's beehives around here. People keep bees. But I want them to know that my property, you know what I mean? That my property has food here. I've got nectar. Yeah. So I want the bees like, oh, this is the time of day in the sun. We're going to go fly. This is the flight path we're going to take. We're going to come to this guy's garden and pollinate his plants. So that's my thing on that, is stealing their expensive bee hobby and their beehive, stealing their bees. I'm going to steal their bees. Produce flowers and fruits that have flowers and nectars and put it out there for them, and use them. That's right, use them, and have my garden propagated and pollinated by them. It'd be fantastic, right? Great idea. Think about it. Who keeps bees here? How expensive is it? You guys know, right? Not cheap to keep bees. Until you get to the point where your supers are having an excess of honey, and maybe you have a double flow, one at the beginning of the year, one at the end of the year, right? When you get the double flow. And then you've got to look at what you got for the second flow. Can you tap into it, or what do you have to leave inside the supers for winter? Get them through, right? Because winter's tough for bees. And then you're hoping not for this is abnormally warm out here, right? This is dangerous weather for trees. Trees will get flowing, especially way up north. What if it freezes again? Kill the trees off. Kill them, right? Because all their sugars and stuff and all their what's radiator fluid called? Oh, you know what I mean. They're how they do it. The way the trees store their energy and stuff. You don't want that sap and all that stuff flowing. You don't want that on a crazy warm winter. You don't want that, and then have it freeze again. You'll destroy everything. You'll wreck everything. Not good. Rebecca knows. 50 Shire points. Antifreeze. There you go. You beat me to it. I heard Buggy a little slower on that one, but yes, antifreeze was the correct answer on that. Look at you. What did I do? This morning I took another IQ test. It was 50 questions in 40 minutes. So did that. I come up pretty much the same. I'm always hitting around 120, 121, 119, somewhere around there. Didn't get any smarter this year. I'm pushing for 122, folks. Learning about and sharing information on nuclear batteries and how to make free power and how to grow things. And I'm just learning. And I'm not able to upstep my IQ anymore. If anything, I'm starting to lose my mind. It's gonna be a lot worse. But yeah, can't beat 121 IQ. Can't get above it. So I'm not educated enough. No matter what I learn, I don't learn enough. My field where I fail a lot is high mathematics, high mathematical equations and stuff. For example, for an IQ test, question might be a symbolism of this in an IQ test. It might show 1-1, then it might show 2. And one could assume that 1 is the first numeral, and then you have another 1. So the next in series would be 1 and 1 is 2. So what would be the next succession series of number? If you have 1 and 1, okay, try to get 100 Shire points. See what your IQ is. I'll tell you if you're correct or not. So you have 1, 1 in series. This is your symbol. You have 1, 1. Next number is 2. 1 and 1. 1 to 1 makes 1. 1 and 1, 2. What is your next number? That IQ thing here for you guys. What's your next number? What's your next number in series? What's the next number that comes up? 1-1-2. 1 and a 1. Look, there's a 1 and a 1. Then there's a 2. What would be the successive number afterwards? And then what would be the successive number after that? These things I'm good with. I'm good with that stuff. People thinking, right? You should be thinking. That's where your IQ comes in. You should be thinking. Anyways, just so you don't have to do math this morning, it's not fair to you guys. The next number would be 3. So 1 and 2, the next succession number would be 3. What is the next number that is after that? So you have 1, 1, 2. The next number would be 3. Then it would be 2 and 3 is 5. 5. And the next number would be 8. And the next number after that would be 13. So I'm good with that stuff. Like I know patterns and how things add up. That's where my mind works. It's just when they get to the symbolisms, when they give you a symbol and they show you a circle with a square, right? And the next one is a circle with a line. Then they show you the next one with a colored circle with the square not colored in. The other one was opaque. The other one was non-opaque. And then they show you the next symbol is blank. And they give you multiple choice. So I'm trying to look for pattern in it. And there is pattern. There is pattern in it, but I'm not seeing it. So I skip that question. If I can't get it in 3 seconds, that it doesn't, my brain is telling me it doesn't pertain to you. You will never use this in your life. You're an idiot. Skip over this question. Sucks for you because it is an IQ test and you have a 50-50 chance of clicking one. But I don't know how the IQ is rated. If I randomly do a 50-50 pick and don't get it or do get it, you know, so you can skip the questions. But then again, how many questions can you skip? So in like, I don't know, 50 questions, I've skipped 7 of them. And they get to the point, oh, Lazy Acres Homestead. What's up, fam? It's my adopted family there. Don't mess with them. Welcome to the live. Anyways, that was the IQ score. I couldn't get any better. And there are just some things that I don't give 2 squats about. I don't care. I just don't care. I don't care to learn. I don't need to be shown that. I am never going to build a flying saucer in my entire life. Build a nuclear battery, right? Telling you guys, smoke alarm has AM American inside here. There's a chip. It's got a Faraday cage. It's got a cage over it, and inside there's 241 American that's in there. That's alpha radioactive. I shouldn't have this near my head. Anyways, alpha radioactive, and you have a transistor chip which has a photoreceptor. If you take the activated radiated chip out of this and you put it over the photoreceptor, you have a low voltage device that lasts for 400 plus years. Fantastic idea. It's great. Not the first person to think of this. Anybody could use photoresistors and some sort of radiation to emit particles, alpha waves, gamma alpha alpha gamma waves. So, anyways, I like that kind of stuff. It's fun. It was fun to think. It was fun to share that idea, and I thought it was fantastic. Oh, for Lazy Acres, we're growing some small squashes and melons and stuff. So I want little ones. Can't use the big pumpkins; they're too big. And I'm not like I don't got pigs on the property like you guys got, 900-pound hogs and 2,000-pound steer. I got nothing I can feed them. You know, we don't have those kind of animals. I got a goat, and goat doesn't like pumpkins. But I want to grow candy roaster squash, and she's not on. I'm just hoping she pops up. Becoming a green stalker, Heidi, within 30 minutes of the video, had sent us a packet of seeds. Yeah, she sent me an email with an attachment file. Open that up, and it just shows the Shire project coming to Benton County, right? She's already got, within a half hour, she's got it packaged up, sealed, and mailed out in a half hour making that video. So that's cool. When it gets here, I'll do a shout out. I don't know if she has a channel, but I gotta go check. I'm bad with that stuff. Oh, if you just came in, Sharon had female surgery, so she had some parts that she had to get cut. She's in recovery last night, and Gail just stopped by, my neighbor. She's heading up there to go pick her up. My coffee's probably ice cold. Hour and a half on live, and I get it, you guys. I see how this works. But anyways, just for the people that missed out, we won some eggplant, Thai lavender, frog eggs. Frog eggs. Isn't that cool? Right? And then this here, like, you understand petunias, right? Great, pretty. Well, this was like a dessert. Look at that. That's a petunia. Super permissive cosmic cherry. Look at that. You could eat that, right? Stick a fork right in and take a bite. Look at that plant. That's fantastic. So yeah, candy roaster squashes are on the way. The property got cleared out in the back. My son went out there with snippers, and he cut all the blackberry bushes. We're pretty sure they're blackberry bushes. He went and he cut them all down. I was yelling at him. I was like, you said trim. I said trim. You can trim them, not cut them. You can level them, right? Goat. I'm mad at the goat. That's why I got the goat fenced up. I can't fence him up in here. I'd love to. Can you do that? Can you put a harness on a kid and hook him to the beam so they can't go more than 10 feet? Can't mess with anything? Joking. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I'm joking. I'm not joking. Visiting. Everybody saying hi. Oh, did you message my wife? Yeah. So again, Lazy Acres adopted us. When we first started the channel, we were a bunch of wild chicken McNuggets out here. Crazy. I was stressed at a high-end job. I was stressed out of my mind. And the stuff that was coming out of my mouth, if you ever watch Adam Sandler or Seth MacFarlane, all these guys from Boston, you hear the crap like Family Guy, you know what kind of a person I am. This mouth has no boundaries, and I'd make videos. And this Southern folk here, these kind people, these sweet people, these innocent-minded, sweet, kind people adopted me. Bunch of nut jobs. I thought I was crazy. You guys adopted me. So what did we end up doing? We thought it was fantastic. We were in gift giving mode. We were handing out solar systems. Yeah, we were handing out solar systems. So Lazy Acre, right there, Lazy Acre. We gave him solar. How cool is that, right? He's like, oh, I want to do solar. I'm like, you do? I was like, you, in my brain, I was like, they adopted me. They like me. I can drive to them. I'll go down to the Virginia co-op property, see where the heck they live. They were kind enough to share that information. And yeah, we hooked them up with solar. Get a bunch of solar panels. Like, here you go, like 6 of them. So yeah, and I did that for a couple other channels and stuff. One channel refused. They were really shitty to me. You know who you are. And then 2 other people didn't want to be on film, didn't want to be notified, didn't want to have anything to do with it publicly. They said we appreciate it, and I just felt good that I could help them out. But I kind of want to use it for my channel. You know, I'm kind of like, look what we did. You know, that helps. It was, you know, I'm like, oh, there's $1,000 down the hole. This next channel. How about you guys? No, we don't want to show it and stuff. It's not our thing. Well, there's another $1,000 I lost. And then Lazy Acres, you know, what about them? They show it. I'm like, oh, they show it. And then he mentions, like, oh, what Shire project gave me? I was like, oh, there we, boom. You know, that's appreciation. I love it. That was the whole point of that, right? Try to network, try to get something going. And then if I had companies investing in me, I could always keep my solar tip-top shape, and I could hand them out to you guys Like, who wants solar? Like, oh, I'd love solar. Oh, not right now, but I wish we could solar later. Oh, we're looking for solar, but we don't know anything about it. Oh, that's who I would go to. I'd be like, really? Where do you live? Minnesota? Look at the mileage, go take a ride up, go meet, go drop them off and explain some things. And then, this year we did 12 videos on solar. I broke it down for you guys. I explained everything. There's nothing too much more you really need to know on it. The biggest thing on solar is Ohm's law. Yeah, watts divided by volts gives you amps. Simple. Really is. That's all you got to know. You learn that little math equation. Watts divided by volts equal amps. You can do anything in electrical. Because if you looked at a wire, it says it handles 40 amps. Like, okay, what's the voltage max? 600 volts, 40 amps. Divide that, and tells you the max wattage that can go through that device. Inside 600 volts. If you had 600 volts, if you had 300 volts, you would half it. You'd divide by half. It's just the way it works. It's very simple. See, there you go, Christy. Same thing, right? Right now, you need the car repair. It's the most important thing. Same thing with us. Our truck runs. We repaired it twice, and we had subscribers. You guys come out, hand us chunks of change, big checks, right? And I was like, So they paid for the back end to get fixed. They helped us repair that gas tank, all that stuff. Would have took us a while. We would have just been paying off the back end right about now, and then the engine seized on us, so the 1,500, and the subs wrote us a check. And they fixed $1,000 worth of that. We paid the rest of it, and they just made it happen, like boom, boom, boom. And now the truck, we hit a big pothole on the highway, and I'm hearing rattling in there, and my oil is what I was pinned. So I don't know what's going on there. It needs an oil change too. But it is what it is. We're looking to get another car. I don't know how much money I want to keep dumping into it. So the truck, right? Southerners love trucks. You guys know that. Southerners love trucks. It's like. And every Southerner that has a truck has another 6 or 7, 8 lawn vehicles on their front property, like lawn ornaments. They keep vehicles, right to repair. Anyways, I think we keep the truck, and we use it for getting water and just helping people around here transport things that need to be moved, because I have a truck, and just keep that running and keep it there. And just start it up every month, keep the battery healthy. Stick a small solar panel on there, get the battery charged, up smarter. Yeah. So then we go up to, I think it's called Scarlet Motors. They're like, if you're disabled, I'm like, hello, I'm not certified disabled, but my back's out. And Sharon's disabled too. She is. We're just in rough shape. We should have met 20 years ago. Her and I should be on YouTube. Me in a Speedo with a banana hammock. You guys, clean shaven chest. You know what I'm saying? Clean shaven back. You don't want to see the rug that I got. You just don't want to. And her in her 2-piece bikini gardening. Us bending over every 5 seconds. That would have built the channel up. We would have clickbaited the heck out of you guys. Just built the channel. But, this channel here is terrible. Nice bodies, but man, they're terrible. I was jacked when I was younger. Short guy, but muscular. Had to be muscular because I'm short. Anywho, we missed our mark. We're just too old. So, and as much as fantastic information as I make or put out there or get inspired by and share by, we're just one of those mediocre off-grid channels that just kind of scrape by. So we're scraping. Last year 530 subscribers, this year 870. So it seems like every year we grow by like 200 or 300 subs. It's fine. And once I get monetized, I can start getting some ad revenue, so there'll be a little bit more coming in. And super chats, it comes with the territory. I'm not gonna say no to that. This boy likes coffee, but I'm not doing YouTube for the money. And I am, but I'm not, but I am, but I'm not. I'm hoping, everybody hopes. You guys know what it is. You make a channel, you're hoping for it, but hit or miss. I know what I'm smart enough to know what my downfalls are. We're not young enough for what we do. People are not interested in an old couple with disabilities, us, making these videos. So only a few select people that like honesty. They're you guys that have subscribed, that know me, that just like the authenticity and just some of the messing around that we do on here. And you want to see the struggle, right? You want to see what we're doing. They're like, oh man, I've been subscribed to this channel for 2 years. Them walls still ain't done. Look, truck's broken. Look, you gotta move a chicken coop. Look, it's been in the same spot. Well, look at you gardening in a bucket. Did you grow anything? Smart guy. Look, you got the chicken, you got the net, got the bug netting over. We're gonna grow. I gotta get it done. I'm not messing around this year. I'm not letting the chickens ruin my garden like they did last year. So, pain in the butt. hour and a half, 8 people in chat, 13 people thumbs up, which you could always take a quarter of that. So there's been at least 16 people in here, roughly. Let me read a little bit of chat here. Nope, I think you'd get arrested for that. Absolutely. Her bucket. How are you guys doing, sister and bro? Probably talking to Lazy Acres. Golf door. Sure, they'll allow you to lease them and walk them in Walmart. Right? Absolutely. Isn't that funny? It's got to have a video. The people of Walmart. I am one of them. Absolutely. Saying hi to Lazy Acres. That's would love to get solar. I read that part. It's finance. Right. It's hard. Get someone like me that was working in my heyday. I would have hooked you up. Probably would have came there and set it up too. And I would have told you, look, it's up to you, but whenever you get batteries, this thing will run. You're going to need some batteries. Get the same ones. Again, on our channel, we did solar. We explained batteries. We explained parallel series, ohm laws, and how to wire things up, and where to fuse stuff, and how to do fuse sizing. 12 videos repeating the same stuff over and over in different situations, scenarios. You guys can learn if you have an interest in solar. I made it for Al Chafe, my back step. He's a Newfoundlander. So I made it for him, and he appreciates it. But anybody can learn from it. It's very, I didn't get too technical. I really made scenarios and designed stuff out so you guys be like, oh, I see what they're doing. You kind of get a way better feel for it. It's not a mystery. Now, you see, Christy Betts, I like real people, right? Christy, would you trust me if my garden was perfect, was built awesome, had you could tell money was sunk into it, right? Everything was done, right? Everything was growing green, perfect, like the vegetables and the shit in the store. Sorry to swear there, what? You know what I'm saying? And that we were showing that complete property in 3 months. Like, oh, we moved here 3 months, and look, we got a biodigester. We've got solar panels, like professional looking. The house, shed the house, had all etching and all the wiring and the lights lit up and the colors and stuff. You see them going with this? And the yard's perfectly mowed down. There's a lawn. There's an indoor pool. There's a heated sauna made from a Japanese wood bath inside of a steam thing. Come on, who's faking it? They might be off grid, but it's different. You know what I mean? You're being fed a show. You're being fed a lie. And if you want to be entertained, you're going to consume that and not know any better. Thinking like, oh, they're really doing it. No, those people have houses everywhere they can go to. When it's winter, you think they're going to stay in Alaska? They're going to see those videos. They'll go visit for a weekend, go visit and be like, we're going to film and tape here that we're out here in the winter. And then they go back down to Florida and they're spending their Bahama money taking boat trips and vacations. How hollow is that as a show? But this here, you get to spend 20 years with me watching me build a shed into a house, get a garden scrape too, collect chicken eggs, and explain our experience. I'm not any better than that other show. I'm not any better. I'm not any worse. No, correction, I'm a lot worse. Terrible at this. Right? They only show the perfect areas. I show my compost, my human manure pile. Hey, come see the Shire shit in action. Yeah, I show you that. I do. I show you that it works. I would not come off grid if my systems were going to fail. Our thing we researched, I researched this for 10 years before even stepping out the door. When I was getting injured, my back was going, I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was coming out here. I had to make sure I knew how propane worked, how to build a fire, how to build a fireplace, how to mix concrete. I had to learn how to wire AC wires in, how to wire it to code. I had to learn code. I had to learn what wire code was. I had to learn wall distances, where you can drop in the boxes on the wall, the wire thickness, what wire metallurgy, the metal, copper stranded, copper, coffee burps up. This was smell-o-vision. You get a hold of it there. There you go. You're welcome. Yeah, I had to learn all this stuff. I had to learn insulation. What was the best? What was the cheapest? What would work for us? How thick? When you turn a shed into a house, what needs to be done? What are the worst things and what are the best things about it? Best things about it is you own a house in 3 years. The worst thing about it is it's full of holes. You got to seal it up. You know, you got to seal, and the insulation needs to be thick. It's the biggest problem. When these walls are super thick, you run an air conditioner, it cools the house. You run a heater, it warms the house. These walls are thin, and you're going to try to do solar on this, like us. We're struggling. We make it, but we're struggling. So, you know, trying to go through it all. And again, I'd show you what it looks like back. And my wife, don't show them. It's a mess. We have the whole entire big house crammed into a little tiny home, and we're all trying to fit in here. And she's worried. I'm like, people don't care. They don't care. I don't think they care as much as she. But I have to respect her wishes, so we don't film inside the house. Just can't. This house is paid off in a few months. We'll have an extra $400, which is going to make life so much easier. We can start doing stuff ourselves. That truck breaks, I can save up X amount of money and repair it, and show something for it. And we'll save up for the disasters. And then if I need something, I go buy it. I have the freedom to go get netting or buy, buy that book off of MB Heritage. Oh. Had to go. I'll tell you how I did it. People show perfect areas. Oh, she doesn't have the goats anymore. Yeah, not planning to be off grid. Bought the property with electric. It's nice to have electric on the property. It is. The box was stolen, and the pole. Oh, the temporary or the permanent pole. The temporary got taken, right? That the 2x4s they jam up together and they stick them in the ground and they put the box on there before they put it on the house. They stole that, bastards. It's rotten people. What's wrong with people? So Mennonites, not the Amish. The Mennonites came in and they sprayed all this stuff for us. And then the boy came in, his younger brother, and he took the big giant blade, cut it down. We paid $2,500 for a 16x40 ceiling and wall. He asked me if I wanted to do the underfloor, but I really didn't have that much more money to spend. So I said, no, we'll be all right. He's like, give me a call. But the house is already on the foundations and stuff, so it is what it is. The floor does need to be insulated, or at least a house wrap, but I don't have any money. I can't put the wrap around the house. So this winter, the wind's blowing underneath, sucking all the house and heat stuff. Do you know anything about heat thermal equilibrium? You know anything about that scientifically? What happens is when you have a cold area and a hot area, equilibrium means to balance out. Like water. If you tip a bowl sideways, the water don't go sideways. It equilibriumizes, balances out. Same thing with heat outside and inside. If it's cold out here and hot in here, the heat wants to escape and the cold wants to come in. Well, if you're cooling in here, nice and cold, and it's hot out there, the heat wants to come in and the cold wants to go outside. Equilibrium. What R value does is resistance value, R value. It is the rate of exchange of thermal heat balancing and going in and out and balancing itself out, yada, yada, etc. That's why I tell people when you do this and you're going to go off grid, I'll say it, super thick insulated walls. You want it that thick. Am I going to make it to 2 hours? Me doing a live for 2 hours. That's a joke. I don't know who's hanging in here. He's got 6 of us now. People in and out. I know people are busy. They're just checking in and say hi. So, and I appreciate that. And 13 thumbs up on the stream, which I didn't expect. It's alive. There's nothing creative going on here. It's just me not wanting to be alone for 2 hours. Yeah. But yeah, in order to make this work out, there's just a few things you need for off-grid. And it's the basic stuff you need every day. You need food, you need shelter, you need warmth. You really don't need, you'd think you need cooling. You really kind of don't need cooling. You'll survive in the heat, but you won't do well in the cold. Heat, you'll get, trust me, it's terrible. Oh, I'm hot, it's muggy and sweltering. You're going to sweat. You're going to smell like a bag of onions. You're going to be fine. That pond, that river you thought was gross, you're going to, trust me, we did it here. Yeah. We stunk. I'm out there working. I'm sweating. I'm salty. My eyes are burning. My pits smell like a bag of onions. Every other place that skin touches on the body was in full fermentation mode. See? Yeah, 6 people in here. The people that dumped out, you missed that. It was funny, right? We stunk. We'd go up with a bar of soap. We washed in that disgusting Tennessee River. Now, it's not the Tennessee River. It's the lagoon next to us. It's a lagoon. So the water flow is not that great. It's a little greener in there. Algae and the smell a little stronger, but we soaped up, we washed in there, we came home, we felt great, felt clean. So anyways, yeah, we go off grid, you got to have a place to shower, and with cold water, it's freezing. We showered in the winter the first year we were here. So I got the PEX piping out there and built a little loop out of it. And I got T-post that I was using for chicken coop and fencing and what. Put the T-post up in a square. And I wrapped the plastic and the tarping around it. And then I went to Tractor Supply and I got one of those little pumps. Wearing on a 12-volt battery. So I got a little car battery sitting out there. And I got one of my first old solar panels. Gave it to my neighbor down the street. But I had that being charged up. And we were running the little garden transfer water utility pump. And in the summertime, when you take that red bucket and 5-gallon pail, you sit out there in the sun, 5 thermal hours of sitting in the heat. This is like from 10 o'clock to 3. From 10 to 3, that bucket of water is steaming. Steaming! In a pail, a red pail, sitting out in the sun, steaming. Had the lids on it. Put in there, we've got a warm, hot shower, almost hot shower, but a really warm shower. Then winter rolls around. It doesn't work that way. Again, equilibrium. As much as the bucket heats up, the bucket's going to release its heat. It's just because it's not insulated. It's just a bucket. Didn't work. Yeah, but we showered out there freezing cold. Every time the wind blow, you just want to get in the house. So it was a quick shower. Shower, 3-5 minutes, rinse off, soap up, rinse off, get in the house. In the winter, it was terrible. And then, you're not going to be able to see it. Anyways, we put the shower in back there. So get the indoor. The family appreciates that. We now have the indoor shower inside the house. Again, what we do is we have a 5-gallon pail, and then we ordered 120-volt, 1,500 watt long electric heater. I do a video on that. I will do a video on that. It takes about 25 minutes to heat up 5 gallons of water, depending on how cold the water is. If it's winter, it's going to take 31 minutes. If it's summer, it's going to take 21 minutes. But 25 on average, 26 minutes, heats up that water and uses about 1.5 kilowatts, 2 kilowatt, 1.5 kilowatts, about a kilowatt worth of solar battery power. So we have to shower, alternate every day. Like, not all 4 of us can't shower on the same day. You'll kill a battery. It's not meant for that. There's a lot of power going out. You can, but the battery would be really low, 20%. And the refrigerator is going to run all night. So the refrigerator running all night is going to cycle on and off. You have a dead battery, which means it shuts down. The solar comes up, it's shut down. Battery's in protection mode, and the solar charge controller doesn't see a voltage, so it won't turn on. That's the way we stagger out our showering. It's off-grid life. It is what it is. But we get the whole point is we're able to heat our water up with our solar battery. We're able to run it with a little a garden pump. Those little giant garden pumps. Yeah, I hooked that up. It works a lot better. It's submersible. Drop that in the bucket, hot water. PEX piping right up to the shower head. Take a shower on low. So we never do high volume, because high volume, in 2 minutes, you have a 2-minute shower. It's not going to work. We put on low volume, and we're able to take a 10-minute shower, which is plenty enough to soap up at least twice, maybe 3 times. Soap up, rinse, get all your bad spots in your hair, rinse, and then lightly soap up again. Make sure you got all your bad spots. You're out the door. 10 minutes, said and done. 5-gallon shower. Water saving. How nice is that? My coffee's cold. 1 hour, 43 minutes getting there. 6 people still in here. You having fun listening to me ramble? Yeah, losing my mind. But thanks for coming in. Thanks for hanging out here. I'm gonna shoot for 2 hours. Sort of. Wanted to jump into the pond in the summer. Really about water, moccasins. Was swim across it. Yeah, we got water moccasins down here, or water snakes. Maybe it is a water moccasin. I don't know. Again, I'm new here. I'm only my 2nd year, and I've been IDing the reptiles and fauna, and I've been IDing everything as best I can. You know stuff I need to know. Yeah, pick the mind. There's a lot of people I talk to, and they shake their head like it's either too much for them, or they just don't give 2 squats. I don't know. Do you use a solar stove as well in the summer? No, we do not. They are overpriced, in my opinion. I would never, ever, 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 ever buy a solar stove. I would build one. A parabolic solar stove, I would build for 1/10 of what they cost, for under $100. I'd build one. I'm not spending $500, $600, $700, $800, $900 for a solar stove. Can't afford it. So is it a wonderful idea? Absolutely. That sun's powerful out here. And yeah, it'd be great, but you have to understand that in the summer, mostly from spring, summer, and some of fall, we are full on battery by 12 o'clock. Like my whole system shuts down because I can't fit any more power in. And this is with the air conditioner, 10K AC, big 10K AC cranking, trying to cool this place off. And all the computers and phones that are on, all the batteries that we got charging, refrigerator running, laptops, phones, lights, a lot of stuff going on in here. And that battery's full by 12 o'clock. So we have the option to microwave and run the air fryer. I don't need a solar stove, but a solar stove would be awesome in the winter, because you do on some days get really good sun where you could use a solar stove to cook your food. You'd slide the big tray out, you'd put all your stuff in there, you'd slide it in, let it cook, pull it back out, done, said, done, free power. Instead of spending $900 on a solar stove, I'd rather spend $900 to fix the truck, car, improve the garden. I got a lot of places where I could allocate money that I don't have. Yeah. I don't know if you're talking about yourself or me. If you watch of it, if you talked about yourself, but yes. We had chickens killing ringneck snakes. They're killing the timber rattler babies that were being born here in the spring. They're going through. You could see them fighting and pulling like a giant worm. I was like, we don't have worms here. Oh, they're killing a snake. They're like raptors, like little dinosaurs. Are ripping them apart. Fun to watch. Not a good time to be a snake. Not here on the property. The max number of animals we can have here is 12 of any given whatever small species of animals. Got a goat, got a goose. That's 2, and then I have 6 chickens. 6 chickens. So that puts us up to 8 animals. We're almost at max capacity that we can handle. But I could take a rooster. I'd like a rooster and 2 more goats, and that would cap us out. 2 female goats, and then we could do during the kidding and stuff. Goat milk, make a cheese, having goat milk itself, butter. That'd be really good for us. You cut down on our milk purchases. We cut down on our cheese and creamer. So we'd have goat milk, but it is what it is. All right, Christy, I'm going to add you in as standard and save. There we go. So next time you talk, Christy, you'll be flagged up. Eagle Outdoor, I would have you buy one, absolutely build one, right? Yeah, build one. There are things I want for the winter that would work really well out here. That's free heat. You build a box, right? You frame in a box. You spray paint it flat matte black, flat black. You put the plastic or glass or Lexan or that poly film or the poly panels for the roofing, that see-through stuff is clear, over the front of it, right? And then you drill 2 holes of it, one on the bottom, one on the top, and you put flappers. A flapper that lets air come into the unit down the bottom, lets it in, and then a flapper that has a fan that blows it into the thing on a small solar panel. Because if it's being heated up, obviously the sun's out, the solar's there, and you set the temperature to, once it hits 90 degrees, to blow 90 degrees into the house, make passive solar heaters for the house outdoors using the sun. That's what I want to do. Something really cool. I will do it eventually. If we stay here long enough, I'll do it eventually. The bad thing about this place is if the humidity is too much for us, and we're fighting humidity. We really are. We fight humidity in here. What is it? 88% humidity. That's good. 88's good in here. That knob has been pinned to 100. It's disgustingly. It's like a sauna when it gets to 100. And we run the dehumidifier, and in one day I can dump 3 gallons of water. 3 gallons of water out in one day. Where you at? Got 11 minutes. I'm getting there. I'm getting in my 2-hour mark, and I'm jumping off. And I don't know. I'm gonna go research things. Made goat cheese. So when you make goat cheese, you need salt, right? You need salt, and you need rennet. And then you got to have you got to boil that, right? And you got to let it rest and settle till it gets thick, and then you got to cut it up, and you got to boil it again. And then you got to drain it out, drain out the whey, and then you got to get your compression container, and you got to get your block and your press that has the measurement in pounds, so you know what you're pressing it at to get the weigh out. You know, the correct. And then cheesecloth and all that stuff. And then what do you do afterwards? You have to seal it in plastic, wax. Does wax go on you, or does it naturally? When you put it up on the shelf, that's fairly sterile, good environment where cheese could age. It's supposed to be you're supposed to have a cheese area, like a cheese station. You know, where does it go? You don't. Do you hang it up in the house? You put it somewhere? You put it in a bag and just kind of just gonna hang it there. What do you do? Stuff I don't know. You know, but I know the steps that are involved. I know the time. I know the formulas for making some basic cheese, how to do it. But I don't know how to age it. I don't know the next step afterwards. I have no clue. Why? There's a little heart over chat. You see that nasty stuff? I got no way to get rid of that. What's wrong with you? Yeah, let me get rid of that. Is this YouTube Studio? It is. I'm not in StreamYard. Why didn't I use StreamYard? I could invite people up. Would have to go it alone. 9 people. Welcome to the chat. People coming in that were in here before, or if you're new, feel free to say hi. Don't be shy. Or if you don't want to be known, you want to hide in the shadows, that's fine too. You want to mess with the moderators? Go ahead. Give them something to do. Keep them on their toes. Just give me 1 second. Vaping on film, you're not allowed to. Not allowed to show pew-pews on film. Before you weren't allowed to talk about COVID. COVID. There, I said it a billion times. You're not allowed to have chickens fighting on. You can't have chickens fighting on. None of that fighting. That's PETA, something. They're against that. They shut stream right down if they see that stuff. AI is watching. Love you, AI. Work with me, not against me. Give me 1 second. Are you ready for milk goat? It's supposed to be goat milk. Are you ready for goat milk? Yeah. I don't see why not. No, we're not ready because we don't have a stanchion and I don't have a goat house. I think it's fair to build like you guys got. It's fair to them. It's fair to them to build them a house, a shed that they can walk in and out of that is layered with thick hay. Right? Not sleeping on the ground. Or wood chips or something. Not wood chips. That's not comfortable. Hay. So we're ready. I know what to do. I'm ready for milking goats. We don't have the stanchion. We don't have the shed for it. So until we have that, we're not ready. You know what I mean? It's funding. I didn't want to come do this just yet. I wasn't ready. But I always made a promise that like, oh, everything's said and done. Hurry up. Give me your money. Invest. Come down. And we're like, okay, we want to do this, but we weren't ready. We needed 2 more years of saving. I would have had another $16,000 behind me. This house would have been paid off. The back deck would have been put on. It would have been one of those awesome fake channels that gets everything done. You know, everything would have showed up. Like the walls got done the next week and deck got put on and like, oh, this guy's rolling in dough. I'm not, but I'm using my savings. And then I could have kept the show interesting. And it would have grew better. Again, that heart blocks out a word. I have to assume. No, are you ready? Something goats. Pretty. 2 goats, the goats, 4 goats. I'm going to bump that up so I can see. Put a dot. No, are you ready? No, are you ready? The goats. My brain's dumb. I don't know. I'm just not getting it. I'm sorry. I'm just not there yet. No, are you ready? The goats. Are you ready for goats? You said goat milk. Anyways, we bred goats. If you're talking about those down the street at Charles's place, we took our Billy, our buck, and we went down with his females. Like what you call it, we call female goats, not ewes. Does. His does. Went down and bred them. He went to town. I mean, got in there and he was just hit the face, neck, shoulder. He hit everywhere. And then he found out where he was supposed to go. And he learned. He was like, oh, this is where you go. He had a fun time down there. We left him there for about 3 days. Charles ran him back up here. He's like, you can have him. You can have them. Jason, what's up, brother? How you doing, sir? Green Country Agroforestry. No one knows Jason. He's a man with a brilliant mind, much better than what mine is. I consider myself a smart person. He is up in the upper echelons of brilliancy. So he's a very smart guy. And yeah, wonderful. And we go on his channel, and the best thing about his channels is you can go on there and you can steal free college knowledge. It's like college education on growing stuff. It's always professional there, for the most part. There's fun. We drink on film, whatever. Always party. Good times. Not always, but you know what I'm saying? Cool guy. Very smart. Well, yeah. Big shout out, man. Big shout. Love your channel. Love you, Jay. That true, Odin. So we do have new people in chat. I'll show you what I got. Take this out again. Jason, check this out. We won. So, in order of interest. Why is it not? I don't have enough windows. I made this house with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 windows in here. I got 2 in the back of the house. I got 1 near the door. I got 1 in our bedroom, and I got 1 in each kid's bedroom. I was supposed to have 2 more in this room, 2 more, and then I was supposed to have 2 in the kitchen. So we had the kitchen counters. You look outside in the backyard, you got 2 kitchen windows. Or I'd be able to take the windows out and put in one of those bow windows, curvy, fancy, be able to put the flower pots, you know what I'm saying? And then you would get that southern and western exposure sun that here is forever. It's forever sun coming in through those windows. And I'd be able to grow things on the windowsill at the kitchen. I can't put it where the kids' rooms are because they kill plants. They won't water them. And I won't remember to water them if I can't see them. Thanks, Billy. You are welcome, sir. You know I believe in you. You know I trust you, and you know that I wish I was your neighbor. I would have fun times. We would brew beer together. We would raise shrimp. You would just talk about everything and anything, and I would just sit there like a student, like, fill this brain up full of good information. Anyways, talking about sparkler petunias, right? Pretty. Baker's Creek. Nice. Beautiful plant. Anyways, that's wonderful and great in itself. Frog eggs. Yeah, they sent us frog eggs. This is Grow Big TV. Thai lavender frog eggs. How cute are those? Isn't that fantastic? Eggplant, Thai lavender, frog egg. Wonderful. That's not the point. Beautiful, right? Great. Was needing small melons and fruits and stuff to grow here, little melons. Last video was a candy roaster squash. I put a shout out. I'm like, you gardeners, I know you got seeds and stuff. And I get embarrassed because you can't ask people for things. I'm like, if you have extra, we don't want a package of seeds. Don't send me 1 or 2 so I can grow some candy roasters here. And then, I'll say seed save and I'll have them for next year. And that adds on to my food storage. We didn't make it. Yeah, I had 2 months of food storage. I need 4. I got to grow double what we produced last year. Not as much pumpkin. We had way too much pumpkin. I was eating pumpkin up. I was puking pumpkin. That's how much pumpkin I was eating. We did pies. We did breads, pumpkin soup. Like Saturday, making pumpkin soup. You get the crock pot out. I'd cut up a pumpkin, drop it in there, drop in half a stick of butter, drop in a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons brown sugar, drop a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and that was pumpkin. And then once it got into boiling, we add a little bit of water, and then we'd add in whatever we had for milk or creamer, just to give a little creaminess to it and richness. And then we sprinkle a little cinnamon in there if it needed it, or nutmeg, whatever we have. And we do it up, and we just have pumpkin soup. It was wonderful. I loved it. The butternut squash soup is my favorite, roasted or turned into a soup. Same method. I know how to make clam chowder or corn chowder, and I just made a chowder without the chowder and more of a soup, just using pumpkin. Instead of having meat or a veggie, I'd use that type of veggie, that squash, made pumpkin soups and stuff. Wonderful. What I want was the candy roaster squash. Made a video on that. It was the last one. 9 people. Where are you people coming from? Everyone getting out of work? How late is it? Oh, it's early. People are waking up on the West Coast. Yeah, I see what you're doing. Some people are coming back. I don't know. But we need candy roast squash in a half hour. Got a response from Heidi, becoming a green stalker. Heidi, if you don't know her, awesome person. And within a half hour, she had it packaged up. She's sending us some seeds from Candy Roaster Squash. She sent me an email attachment. That's why I'm on live. I'm trying to thank her. I'm trying to catch her on here. I know she watches my stuff, so I'm trying to catch you, Heidi. Thank you. But she is what it is. But yeah, she sent me an email, and it shows that she's mailing it to Shire project, blah, 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 but mailing it out to us. Didn't show you what I was showing you, right? So I showed you all these things, right? Cool. Check out these petunias. Get a fork ready and try to scoop and eat this petunia. Look, this is dessert. So it's Super Bisma Cosmic Cherry. Does that not look edible? I mean, what do you think? This, I don't grow flowers. But look at this. Can you eat petunias? I want to take a. Tell me I'll get sick. That way I don't eat them. Can you eat these? Can I eat this? I love eating flowers. I do. Yeah, I've eaten a lot of flowers. I've been fine. I haven't gotten sick from flowers that I've been eating. I don't know whether some flowers are edible or not. I just eat them. If I get nauseous or sick or I get the runs, I won't eat it again. So far, everything that grows around here that's a flower, I've eaten, and I've been fine. So, but I just want to sprinkle sugar on it and just take a bite. Tell me that's not gorgeous plant. You jealous? Super Bisma Cosmic Cherry. Super Bisma Cosmic Cherry. Yeah. Gorgeous. Isn't that cool? Very cool. And so, yeah, we got our Candy Roaster squashes coming. At night, when I sleep, I can feel the vines growing out of my ears. Wake up when it starts. Gas. Oh, thank goodness. It was just a dream. By fall, I want them again. True. Absolutely. Tablets. All right, your tablet's dying. Go charge it up. Thanks for joining the chat. Herb and Buckets Homestead. Appreciate that. Yes, I'm jelly. Really, Eagle out there? Yeah, you jelly. I'm broke, or I would send some of the seeds out in the package, which if you grow stuff, but I'm broke. I'm literally out of money. The last $30 I had, I told her to buy gas. So I filled up the 5-gallon tanks and the other 2.5, and the other 1.5-gallon tanks. I'm out of cash to mail. And we don't get paid till the 5th. So we're going to allocate our money, pay for this house, and see what we're doing from there. So yeah, I guess it's another one. It's another time I won something. I don't know what's in here. Like, I have no clue. I have to find my seed bank. She buried it down in there, so I haven't been able to empty this stuff out. So looks like he sent us parsley, which we can always use. I make a roux, make a sauce, tomato sauce. You need parsley. You can eat it raw, or eat it cooked, or eat it boiled in. So he sent us sweet basil. It grows well here. I have so much sweet basil thrown around out the yard. We seed save. By seed save, I took the pods off and I spread them on the ground and gently covered them over for next year, for this year. So when it's warm enough, we're gonna have basil. I don't have to plant it. It's an annual. It grew annually, and then perennial wise, whatever, we have the seeds out there sitting in the ground, provided nothing ate them. Are they mini eggplant? They're frog eggs. Frog egg. Yeah. Come on, dude, look. Look at that. That's a gumball. You can tell. Look at the plant stem right here. See that? These are small. You know? Little eggplants. Are they ornamental? Are they edible? It's an eggplant. I think it's edible. Collected by the Gettles in Central Thailand. Tiny fruit the size of a cherry tomato. Lavender splash with cream. Robust flavors. That means it's edible. Should read the back of these packs. Super high yielding. Super high yielding. Isn't that fantastic? Planting instructions. Start indoors 8 to 12 weeks before the last frost. These, like all eggplants, these things take forever to grow. So I don't like doing eggplants. I don't like doing bell peppers. Same thing. These take forever. And celery. To hell with celery. Grew celery up north is such a slow grower. Heat mat helps to warm the soil and speed germination. Setting out larger transplants help to fight pest pressure. What does that mean? Setting out larger transplants. Oh, so you don't want to set them out tiny. You need them big. And if they're bigger, they can handle pest pressure. These eggplants. They want to be good size. So let them grow to their good size. Then I'm assuming 8 inches for an eggplant, 8 to 9 inches in height. Then you don't put them out when they're 3 or 4 inches. They'll struggle. Put them out when they're good size. That way they'll grow another foot and you'll start seeing flowers, and they'll start to do their maturing over the course of time and start to produce fruit. But high yield. Yeah. Awesome. What do I have for other seeds? Anyways, that came from that package. I gotta find my seed bank. Get this stuff organized and set in there. Parsley we saw. Sweet basil does really well here. Saw that. Right, in Tennessee. So Kentucky would do well. So I think they're Kentucky Wonder Pole beans. Got tons of these. A ton more. I love beans. And if I get a trellis, I think they'll do wonderful. Pole beans. So not bush bean, pole bean. Got to be trellised. Or else they're going to hit the ground and they're going to yellow out and spot up and the bug's going to chew at them. So got to get them trellised up. Marketmore 76 cucumbers. Cucumbers do really well here. Yeah. So yeah, big seed pack. Sure, bad eyesight and I'm half deaf. If you guys didn't know, everything's wrong with me. It's getting older. Rebecca always knitting and sewing. Knitting, sewing, knitting. You sew too, right? Yeah, you have to. If you knit, you have to sew. It's good to have both skills. You probably have both skills. You definitely have both skills. Yeah, he's gonna break out some Latin. Slow Nancy can be finicky, except for cherry tomatoes. Some of those might be able to make it on their own. French Eagle Outdoors, slow grower, not a shower. I'm looking forward to spring for my container garden. Yeah, we're growing in buckets. Speaking of containers, I just don't have enough soil here. I have enough clay and little thing of topsoil for squash and pumpkins to vine out, any of that kind of stuff. Watermelons, honeydew, cantaloupe, all that stuff can grow in this Tennessee nasty clay soil. It does well. You just got to put some chicken manure around it, aged chicken manure. It should be fine. A little bit of water grows. Here's the thing about the clay soil out here. It's always moist. This ground does not dry here. The topsoil does. The first quarter of an inch is dry. But underneath all that clay and stuff, that's wet. It stays moist. So we don't water the plants. Once they get established, once a watermelon plant or a pumpkin or a squash plant gets over 6 feet here and it's got the big leaves on it, and once it gets long enough where the leaves start to get that powdery mildew or leaf miners, but not to worry because it's growing so fast that there's always new leaves and it's spreading itself out and it's dropping roots into the soil as it travels, right? Fantastic. So we don't worry about it. It takes care of itself. It drinks and feeds itself as it grows out. So we don't worry. Vines. The small things we worry about that need some loose, loamy soil mix. Get down in there. Carrots, grow them in a bucket, sure. Potatoes, no, not for us, not this year. I need a planter like 3 foot by 3 foot by 8 feet. I need something deep and big. We don't have enough material here. We just don't. And with the volume I'm making about 2 buckets of compost a year, 10 gallons worth of compost a year. It's all I can produce. It's all I'm willing to produce in that little leaf mold bed with the chicken manure and mix everything in. And the little compost pile that's out there from the chicken manure. It's all the hay, all the rotting. Shoot, I went over 2 hours. You guys are welcome. Give you somewhere to hang out while you're bored. There's 8 of us in here. 16 people thumbs up, which means about 20 people showed up in total. It's fine. Lazy May's Country Kid. That's April. Is that you, April? Lazy May? Is that you, April? Glenn's better half. Yeah, true story. Glenn's better half. Yep, that's her. Give me 1 second, hon. I can see you better. Do that. Click scan. Save. There you go. Do you have a lot of problems with ants here? Ants really got into my potatoes in Alabama. Yes. We have red ants. I don't think they're fire ants. I wouldn't know the difference. I've been bitten by the ants and it burns like a mofo. It stings. But it feels like someone took a razor blade and nicked you. And went, aha, and then took salt or alcohol and just dropped it on the cut. It burns. So I don't know if that's a fire ant. Do fire ants welt you up? Like, if you got bit by a fire ant, one, would you know about it? Like, oh, dude, you'd know about it if you get bit by a fire ant. Your foot would go woohoo and swell. This burned and it would itchy. My God, itchy. We got tons of black ants, little tiny ones, and we got the worker ants and the drones. They get bigger. So maybe 2 or 3 species out there, and we got the red ones out there. If I had fire ants, I'd have a fire ant mound. Correct? It would be a big mound. They do that. They kind of, when they dig out where they're living near the tree stumps, this whole house, underneath my house, there's ants everywhere. And I got that stuff, and I'm nervous to put it down. It's for fire ants, for killing ants. And then I got the little tubes. You crack them open when they come in the house, because the kids got crumbs everywhere from their food, their sandwiches, and whatever they're eating. They crumb everything up. The candy and stuff they bring in the house from school, chips and potatoes, they make a mess. So we sweep. Can't get everything. Ants come in, they finish it off. But yeah, we have ants here. We got lots of ants here. I don't mind them. I'll tell you why I like the ants. I love the ants. They aerate my soil. I'm not getting in there 3 or 4 feet underground aerating it. I'll let them do it. I work with nature. I work with the ants. And they haven't done anything bad besides bite me. That's my fault for being in their territory. So I don't care. And the ones that come in the house are here cleaning the house. Oh, you got ants in your house. I'm like, I apparently have a mess somewhere that needs cleaning. And they're taking it out. And when it's gone, guess what? They don't come back because there's no food left. So why do I want to kill the ants? I'm off grid. I'm working with nature, not against nature. If nature wants to come in and help me out, come on in. You know what I'm saying? Come on in. So I'm not afraid of ants. One thing we don't like, okay, 2 things we don't like. We don't like the centipedes here because they're big. They're 6 inches and they're colorful. Black, red banding, like they got claws on them. So I don't want to have that in bed with me. And they've gotten in bed. We pulled a big centipede out. Her screaming bloody murder. You know, I thought something bad happened. I don't know. That she sat on her phone or something. I don't know. Broke it. I don't know. And then, oh, I see it. And I go get the salad tongs and I pick them up and I throw them at the chickens and the chickens annihilated them. The other second thing I don't like in here, I don't know their true name. They're big son of a guns. They almost look like a Madagascan. She's going to kill me. She's not here, so I can tell you guys. They look like a Madagascan hissing cockroach. They're about as big as my thumb. Look how fat that thumb is. That big. Right? These cockroaches, I call them woods cockroaches. Woods. They're not the German types. We don't have German cockroaches. This, I would bomb the heck out of this house. And by that, I mean chemical spray. AI, learn. We'd end up putting the bug bombs in the house and spraying and stuff. These are woods cockroaches, and they're dumb and they're slow. They're not even fast. They just lumber around. And I pick them up, and they scream, and they do their cockroachy thing, and I throw them out to the chickens. It's the only thing we don't like in the house. We don't like those big, because you're afraid of cockroaches in the house, but they're not the type you're thinking of. These are just big, dumb, slow insects. We pick them up, we throw them out. I think it's I don't know if the males fly or the females fly. It's the males. The males are, when they're warm, the males are a little bit quicker. Like they can scurry and they just get a crap out of you. But anytime we get those woods cockroaches in the house, they don't go into anything. They're on the ceiling. You'll see them come in, wherever they come from, they'll crawl up the wall and they go into the ceiling and they sit right on the ceiling. And it's like this big black 3-inch oval shape sitting on the ceiling. And I'll go get the broom and I'll bang them and just kind of knock them out, grab them and throw them out to the chickens. We don't like them. I don't mind them, but I don't want them in the house at the same time. Yeah. So I was at the ants. Got some guineas, and they were eating the fire ant. Guineas eat fire ants. Well, that's cool. Lazy Acre, Lazy May, and yeah, they have guineas. We never got a chance to get some guineas from them. Things like just didn't work. Just didn't work out between, and they're too so far away. And with the gas prices, it's thousands of dollars to go visit them. I can't. I just can't afford it. But yeah, we should have, and we never got a chance to get that freezer from them. So it is what it is. I just missed out, and I'm sorry. We tried, it just didn't work out for us. But yeah, guineas. I love guineas. Guinea fowl. I think they're awesome, and I like the noises they make. It's unique, and you don't have to build them a coop because they roost up in the trees, right? Do they do that in winter? Glenn, April, and Christine, do they roost up in the trees? The guinea fowl. Is it in winter? Is they up there? I don't know. I've seen turkeys do it. I know turkeys will do it. And bantam, little bantam chickens. They'll yeah, right up in the trees, 40 feet up, no problem. Wonder if they are edible with chocolate on them. Ants, for the most part, yeah, you eat ants. Just piddling around. Evening. Welcome to the channel. I kind of recognize that name. I do recognize that name a little bit. I think I've seen you before. Okay, whose channel you're on? Well, I can shut down this stream at any moment, so I'm over my 2-hour mark. I didn't think I'd go more than a half hour. No. And this isn't StreamYard. This is YouTube Studio. Oh, the fire ants in the flowers. What collected? Wait, they eat the flower? I thought they're just there for the nectar. They eat the flower? Oh, you eat the flower and you end up swallowing ants. I thought they were just there for the nectar. So they're there for the nectar and you end up eating fire ants or just regular ants. Yeah, why not? A little burst of lemony flavor, right? Little acid pop. Little. That's what I'm told. I haven't eaten ants before, right? Have I eaten ants? I've eaten dog poop as a kid. Tell me, buddy. It's between us. You know? Yeah. You're stupid when you're 4. Whatever. My wife, your breath tastes like shh. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, they'll get in the trees, shut them up at night because of the owls. Oh, yeah, owls. Hawks, owls, falcons. Never noticed they're really tiny. Oh, Buddha, forgive me. One of the guineas got frostbite on its foot. Yeah, it goes blackened. Our cones on our birds. So for me, if I have a chicken, that's why I don't like roosters because of the of the cones on the hair and stuff. I like chickens with the short cones, real tight, like the bod rocks and stuff. Some barred rocks, some mixed species. I don't know, but I like when they have the short. I don't like it because I'm always. But we're far enough south that what's up, Dave? Dave, give me a second. Let me hook you up. I have to wait for the next comment in order to get you. The heart's in the way. Meh. But yeah, I like the chickens with the short cones on them and stuff. That way, when they don't get frostbite as bad. I've seen it on our chickens in Virginia. One of our girls had these little black dots, and Sharon said, "Oh, she got fungus or something on her." I said, "No." I said she either got attacked when we weren't looking, and those are scar, they're healing over, or I said that's frostbite. And it is winter. We had some ice and stuff out there. I said it could be frostbite. So we end up putting heat lamp, little 250-watt heat lamp in there with them. It's in a big space. It's not going to heat them where they're warm. It's winter. It's an open barn. But right in that ray, right where it radiates, those chickens sit on those bars. They can feel it. They can feel a little bit. It doesn't do much. It does something. It's prevent frostbite. But we left it when it was cold. And once it warmed up to about above 50, we took the light off. Like I said, I want the light on there 40 and below. So 38, 35, 30. This is Fahrenheit. So Yeah, we wanted the light out there when it was cold. Eagle Outdoor. Wonder what protein content the roaches have. They're probably healthy for you. I don't know. Biting this big bubblicious pop and his creamy texture of walnut. Who knows? I'm not going to try it. You can make a video on it. It's not for me. Joe, yes, fortunately, our grapefruit tree got black spots. The citrus gets one stressed. Oh, you got grapefruit down there because he's in Mexico. It's growing down in there. Oh. Ants get all affected leaves after a couple weeks, and the tree's better. Really? The ants are helping you out on grapefruit? That's awesome. Oh, there's Dave. Now I can get a hold of you. Click on Dave. Do that. Standard. Click save. There, I'll fix Dave. At Z-Bugs. Ants will farm aphids for the sap they put out. Yep. Which is known as, do they call it honeydew? Honeydew. They drink it out the butts. They protect them. We had up in Boston, oh God, 7, 8 years ago, is our first time we ever grew lettuce. So I got the peat moss and stuff, and I got a fish tank with goldfish out there. And I'm using the fish tank from the goldfish water, the rainwater. The rainwater would come down, it would run in, it would overflow, and the fish tank would, the goldfish tank would always stay full. If you know goldfish, they are full of ammonia. It's really dirty fish. What people end up doing, such as myself, because I love goldfish, is I overfeed them. They'll eat till they pop and die. So we overfeed our goldfish. You can give him the pellets, and then he looks happy, and I'll give him a few more. And he looks extended and bloated, and they float sideways, right? They're full. They're making ammonia and stuff. I need that. That's bad because most people don't maintenance their fish tanks. They're like, oh, it's been 3 months. Haven't done a water change. I just add water when it evaporates. Don't do that. And they got goldfish, and there's 10 goldfish in a 10-gallon tank, and they're all over 3 or 4 inches, and they're 3 times the amount of fish and 1/3 the amount of space. So people don't learn that you should have 1 goldfish, give them a name like Charlie, and just keep Charlie in a 10-gallon tank, and Charlie in 3 months will be 5 inches. Charlie in 2 years will be up to 9 inches to a foot. Charlie will stunt because you didn't stick him in a pond. Your goldfish is unhappy. Anyways, people overcrowd their fish tanks all the time. Guppies and stuff, tetras, load them in, right? Load them in. If you're going to biomass, load them in. Let your algae grow on the side of the tank, in the back tank, on the filter, around the filter, but not in the filter. You don't want algae in the filter. On the outspout of the filter, if you got a light, the outspout of the filter for a scrubber, sure, you have algae. Don't let algae go inside. Keep your filters clean so they work and they flow with water. That way the beneficial bacteria that are in there can go through the nitrogen cycle and convert all the nitrates, and ammonia into a non-toxin. Anyways, nobody cares about that. But keep your filters clean on the inside, not on the outside, or your tank on the outside. If you like looking at a fish tank, keep the front glass kind of clean. So you can look in there. But you should leave your algae and stuff. Just leave it on the tanks. If you're okay, so if you got a fish tank and your water goes green, you have not enough fish, or maybe too many fish, and you're overfeeding the tank because there is a nutrient buildup from fecal matter and rotting fish food that's not being consumed. You might not have enough plants inside your sandy bottom soil or whatever substrate you have. You don't have enough live plants in there. So if you get an algae bloom and it goes cloudy, A, the light's left on too long, B, there's too much nutrients in there. Those 2 factors there give you the green cloudy water. And the fact that you might be changing your filter too often, yeah, maybe once a month. Depending on how many fish you have to check on it. It's called a hobby for a reason. You learn with what you have. So 10-gallon tank, I figured 1 fish per gallon. That's fair to them. I mean, you only want to be stuck in such a big closet. For us, 16 by 40 works for our closet, for our family of 4. It's big enough for us, right? So anyways, for fish, you need X amount of space for all of them. Some fish like to be grouped in little species and little colonies and little schools, So you got to get a couple of them, at least 3. Keep them in a school if they're a schooling fish. Some tetras will school with any other fish. They don't care. Goldfish are in the carp family, and goldfish do not mix with tropical fish. There's a temperature difference. Goldfish are going to want 65 and lower. Down at 50, they do fine. Tropical fish are going to want tropical fish like it hot. You don't think so? Tropical fish are going to want 78 to 83. That hot range. You stick your finger in there, you're like, well, that's a warm tank. Yeah. Tropical fish love warm. They just do. There you go. Keep your goldfish and carp species out and away from your tropicals. Don't mix them. It's not fair. It's not fair to either fish. And goldfish get a lot sicker for some reason. They just do. All right. I gotta read here. Did you see my message email me about? So Rebecca sent email, probably to Christine or someone. Sent email. So check your email. She sent email. Jason from King Country. If we had honeypot ants around here, I don't know what a honeypot ant is. I've never seen one. Honeypot ant, I would totally farm them. Cool. I'd have to look up honeypot. I'll remember to look them up. I want to see what that is. Dave says I have to sterilize the inside of my greenhouse with hydrogen peroxide today. Hydrogen peroxide is 3%, if I'm correct, and you have to displace that hydrogen peroxide. So what's your mix on your hydrogen peroxide per gallon of water? Is it like a teaspoon or tablespoon per gallon of water? Right. 3% hydrogen peroxide. What a gardener's dream, huh? Isn't this fantastic for seeds, huh? And for watering, hydrogen peroxide. You got to dilute it, but yeah, stuff is amazing. People don't know how to use it. Tell them how to use it. I know how to use it, kind of, sort of. I get what it does. I use this for my choppers. I mix this. This is my mouthwash. That's all this is. Nobody's allowed to touch this but Daddy. That is my bottle of mouthwash. It'll last me 2 years. Little squirt, a little bit of water, and then I go take the baking soda and I get a little scrub. Because yeah, toothpaste is dangerous if you didn't know. I'll explain what toothpaste is. If you look on a toothpaste package and you got your package of toothpaste, right? Like, healthy, keep your gums clean and everything. Flip it over. Look on the bottom, the squeeze tube, where you roll it up, squeeze, and the top comes out here. Look for the symbol. There's going to be a color code. You want green. Green is all natural. If it's blue, red, or black, you brush with chemicals. Something you should know. Anyways, thought that was fun to learn. Here you go. Something most people don't know about toothpaste. I don't want to deal with it. I don't trust any company. You shouldn't either. I make my own toothpaste. Baking soda. Yeah, that's it. That and water. Mix it in. Brush. I'm good to go. My teeth. These choppers stay. They look yellow. They're white. They're brighter than what they look. I drink coffee every day. I brush with baking soda and toothpaste. It is amazing. Do you know why? Because when I see toothpaste and they say with peroxide, okay, I'm going to mouthwash peroxide, includes baking soda. Really? You're telling me the basic ingredients that make this toothpaste so great and why I should buy it? And then I learned the color code method on the back, that little square dot. Huh? Was it green? They're always blue, red, or black. I'm like, no. I'm not buying toothpaste no more. I'm not buying mouthwash anymore. If you're going to tell me peroxide works, you're going to tell me baking soda works, and I look at it and how oxygen and hydrogen and stuff bubbles in your mouth, and it bubbles up and it separates, it cleans everything, gets stains out, and that the baking soda is an alkaloid, right? Neutralize the acid in your mouth. Great, wonderful. Neutralize the acid. Want that. It's going to kill a lot of the bacteria and stuff in your mouth too. Okay, work on gingivitis. Brush with baking soda. And rinse it and wash it with peroxide, and then rinse my mouth out afterwards. Then I go back to drinking coffee. Full circle. 2.5 hours on stream. I don't like it. Don't like streaming. I have nothing to talk about. You guys are keeping me rolling right now. Don't keep your goldfish with piranha. I can't fight that. I can't say like, oh, if you had a big carp. Piranha, no, man. You know what I mean? Little piranha, no. Okay, you have, let's just say you stupidly stuck your giant carp that you have, your 1 foot carp, in with a bunch of little tiny piranhas. They will nip the fins. They fin nip. They'll fin nip until the carp can't swim anymore. And then they keep digging in those little bite areas, and they'll eventually eat it and kill the carp. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Don't keep your piranhas in with your goldfish. And for those of you that feed piranhas mice and frogs and stuff, you're sick. Stop. Don't keep piranha. There's no reason for you. I worked in the pet trade for 7 years. Okay? I've studied herpetology. I've studied zoology. Why? Because I read books. I just like to know things. I'm in a pet trade. I should be reading marine biology, zoobiology, and herpetology books. I should learn these things. Everything with an ology at the end of it. Doesn't mean that I'm smart. It just gives me an upper hand to face some problems that might get questioned by you, the purchaser, coming into my pet store. I surmise that people should not keep lizards or snakes. Most people are stupid. Or fish. Or birds. What people should buy are the fake plants and the fake fish and the fake plastic tanks, fill it with water with an air bubbler, and let them float around. Guess what? You don't have to worry about water changes. You have to worry about the nitrogen cycle. You don't even have to feed the fish. They'll float there and look great bubbling forever. This is best for most people. And then you got people that like to know about the nitrogen cycle. They ask those questions like, how does the nitrogen cycle work? What is the bioload I can put per gallon? What is this species aggression? What is a community fish considered? How big does that tetra get? Yeah, you might not know that the lesser canis might start out 3 inches, but it gets a foot big, and you can't stick it in a 20-gallon tank. It's going to need 110 gallon. So yeah, people don't understand. Some tetra species get pretty big, and some of those tropical species actually get angelfish get the size of a dinner plate. Huh? That's an angelfish. You didn't know. Kissing gouramis, size of a dinner plate, but you didn't know. You think gouramis get like this in these states? Some species do, the blue little tiny ones, but the kissing gouramis, massive. People don't know. They buy fish and they're like, oh, I get a 55-gallon tank. I was like, then you're going to want a pair of kissing gouramis and nothing else. Maybe a couple loaches in the bottom. Maybe a couple smaller tetras in there, just a few. And just keep those kissing gouramis to themselves, male and female. Get a pair of them. And you know what the best part? When you stick a flower pot in there, and what you do is you raise the temperature up, and you start feeding them live food when they're mature, they'll breed. You'll breed fish. Amazing. And you can sell them back at the pet store for $5 a piece that they ripped you off, and they sell them $20 a piece, and you get your money back eventually. Tell them, yeah, I'm raising kissing gouramis. And I'm sure the owners, most of the owners are kind of shady. You didn't know I worked in a pet store? Yeah, I worked in a pet store for 7 years. We are shady people. Oh, yeah, these are professional breeders. Liar. Liar. We got these from you guys. You guys are breed them in your back tank. How many got? 100? Give you $50. You know, bring them in. Boom. You say, oh, I got 100 fish. Because you bred them. You don't want 100 fish in your fish tank. I'm offering you $100. It sounds like a great, I'm getting a discount. I'm getting these things super wholesale. Yeah, bring your gouramis in. I'll take them for $100. I'll write you a check right now. Dude, I'll give you cash. How's that? Because nobody wants to pay taxes on it. So we'd get the 100 fish in there, and then we'd isolate them. Can't give them to the public. We keep them there for 2 to 3 weeks to monitor them, to isolate them. And then after, on the month, they'll grow in size. We can charge more. It's the way we can get the money out of the public. We're smart thinkers. It's how we work when I work in the pet trade. I don't mind selling fish. I have something against selling reptiles to people. And bird owners, you know whether you can handle a bird or not. You really can. Nobody's going to drop $1,900 on an African gray parrot if you don't know anything about birds. You'll get a budgie. You'll start out with the parakeets first. So I lived in Somerville, Mass, near Cambridge, where I used to work out of. I lived near Harvard University. I was friends with the Harvard team wrestling captain. We bred red-eyed tree frogs and stuff for Harvard. We did dendrobodies and all different types of South American poisonous dart frogs and stuff. Thing on that, poisonous dart frogs are only poisonous out in the wild. Why? They eat bugs with poison, therefore they can secrete it through their skin. So if they have wild caught, what you got to do is for a few weeks you got to feed them bugs without touching them. If you get them wild caught, you really shouldn't have them wild caught. They should be bred. They should be bred. So if you're not sure where they came from, and they don't really tell you the source of where they came from, they don't tell you where they're flown in from. So if they're flown in from Florida, I'm going to get nervous. If they're flown in from Canada, I'm going to get nervous. If they're flown in from the middle of the country, I'm going to feel pretty good. That's a hobbyist back there is breeding his frogs. Just saying. Just a feel. When you're near the ports, when you're outside near the ports, that means what? Incoming. Incoming. Things are coming into the country. Anyways, poison dart frogs, if they're wild fed, eating bugs in South America that contain poison, you touch the skin, yeah, you're going to feel the effects of it. If you have a weak immune system, you might be in trouble. So, I'm not sure if it's a neurotoxin. I don't remember. I can't think. I should read some. Okay, where are we? 100% natural tooth preparation one of these days. Might even sell it. Unless someone else beats us to it. And we'll just advertise for you, right? You say, oh my God, so true. I forget at what point I was talking about. It's probably 5 minutes ago. Something to do with something I was talking about. Veterinary client for 16 years, and my daughter, me, marine biology degree. Oh, you do. I just worked the ocean, and I've read marine biology books, and it all just kind of makes sense. You know, I did it because I was selling salt water. So I wanted to know specific gravity, how to use a hydrometer and all that stuff, salinity. I just had to learn the species. So I wasn't selling an octopus with damsels and then tell the people, oh, they're fine. And then I bought 20 damsels. I only got 6 left. I'm like, huh, well, if they jumped out of the tank. Octopus at night? Getting in there and eating them. Yeah, you shouldn't have an octopus in your tank. If you keep octopus in the tank, they're like dogs. You have to entertain them. Don't think it's a mollusk and like, oh, it's a clam, it's a mollusk. Yeah, no, yes, no. It's a highly, highly intelligent, inquisitive little species of animals. What you do is you put plastic rings and little bottles and with lids on there, and you put food inside there, and you watch them play and learn, and they twist with their little arms, and they open things up, and they squeeze into bottles and get things and reach in, and if they can't get it, they figure stuff out. They're smart. So if you get octopus, treat it like you would treat a small child or dog. They're intelligent creatures, and stop eating them. You really shouldn't eat them. We don't know if they're actually alien species. We think they are, right? They're smart. Anyways, that's Call of Cthulhu stuff. Oh, getting off topic. There is no topic here. Jason, angelfish are jerks too. Dude, I don't know. Angelfish, for me, I can't keep them. I think when the water quality buffers too far acidity, or it goes too quick, it buffers too on the alkaline side, I lose angelfish. They just go sideways. And I can never get angelfish that are good size. I always get angelfish when they're like this big. You know those little 2-3 inch angelfish. I don't trust those. I want to get them for a breeder that's had them for a year. I need them sizable, 6, 7, 8 inches. And I'll pay $22 for a pair of angelfish. I don't care. But $22 a piece if they're a breeding pair. But don't sell me a 1 or 2 inch angel expecting me a semi-avid hobbyist to keep them alive. Most people don't even know that their tanks have to be cycled. And they're having ammonia spikes in there because they're feeding the fish. Brand new tank, weekend, they're feeding every day. You know what's happening. It's going to be a crash. Everything in that tank is stiff, dead. Just gone. Unless they're platies. For some reason, platies live through everything. Livebearers. Platies are livebearers, yeah. We had fun. Beautiful fish. If you ever want to keep 10-gallon tank, your first fish you should get, platies and guppies. Yeah. They're small, they're cute, they don't eat much, and they're livebearers. They'll always breed. You'll just be like, huh, I started out with 4 fish, and now I have 20 in there. All different age cycles. And if you get all different color ones, they'll interbreed. And they're pretty mixes. And they're friendly, and they recognize you, and they'll follow you. Most of them want food. Jason, don't get a parrot unless you're ready for the commitment, right? It's like adopting a child. I ain't like getting married where you can just say, oops, my fault, and walk away. Same on you. You know who you are. We had some hilarious birds at the clinic in California. One cockatoo spoke in British, and the owner's voice, it had an accent. Oh, that's cool, right? Yeah. Because it's speaking what it knows. It has an accent. My cockatoo has a British accent. Oh, well, is it Cockney? All right, governor. Hey, all right. Is it really? Or is the Queen's English? Parliament today is. Jason, most people should get fake plants and the artificial fish. So true. I'm telling you, start out with that first. See where your commitment is. Fake feed. See if you do it every day. If you can't commit to fake feeding, literally taking, I'll cover the pill bottle up here, taking your fish food and fake feeding your fish every day, if you can't remember that, you can't have fish. How easy it to feed a fake tank and have repetitive structure in your life, a little bit of OCD. Yeah, that's my son's meds, not mine. I don't take medication. I need medication. I just don't take it because I don't want to be addicted to anything. Besides coffee, I can't help it. I just like you. I love you, Miss Coffee. I love you. Gotta have the coffee. Where are you? Bands for childhood supposed to teach kids about responsibility, morality. The pet dies is part of the education. The whole point is not let the pet die. Can't prevent everything though. Stuff does happen. It is what it is. Oh, take it easy. I'll see you all later. Later, Rebecca. Thanks for stopping in. One of the vets worked with McMurray, was head of the veterinary clinic, Monterey Bay Aquarium. Monterey Bay. That's Monterey Bay. It's California. Am I wrong? Monterey Bay. I don't know. Came in one day and had just done a biopsy on great white shark's mouth. Why is he sticking his hands in great white shark? Was the shark dead? Yeah, about great white sharks. The closest I have come to a great white shark in the Atlantic Ocean. Looks like one, but it's not. What is it? Portsby? Porgy? Porgy? It's called a porgy. Porgy. Look it up. Porgy. P-O-R-G-Y. P-O-R-G-I-E. Porgy shark. Looks like a great white, part of the family, right? Almost like a mako. Scary fish. We had those. I was swimming in the water, and they were near. Didn't bother me. Terrifying to see afterwards. My father told me come on the boat. Yeah. Wouldn't want to experience it again. Makes me afraid of water. I've seen the movie Jaws. I've been terrified as a child. Thanks, Lucas. Tristan. It's the typical lifespan of the basic child's pet, unless they are into tortoises. They'll experience old age, mortality before the child reaches adulthood. Right. My brother Timmy lives down in Florida. His whole backyard was dedicated to tortoises. She's got all different types of tortoises. I don't know where you get them from. I don't know if they're native. We got tortoises out here. They're the North Carolina, and the ornate species that are out here, which have the red eyes and the orange eye. Really super cool. So we had those digging into the soil up against the house. It's awesome. See them in here. We also have Woodhouses toads. So Bufo americanus. Along the lines of Bufo americanus. It's common toads. But the Woodhouses have a cream beige, like the walls here, skin with green. It's kind of a leafy green, not an emerald green and not an olive green. A little bit on the bright side, almost an emerald, but not quite. Kind of a military bright dark green. I don't know. There's spots and everything. Woodhousey toads. So, and there's a different species here too, kind of rust colored. Bufo something, not sure. But along whatever I forget what it was, but it's definitely some sort of Bufo americanus. Right, you're never ready for death on the farm, and you're never ready off grid when animals die, and they do. We've lost ducks, we've lost chickens, and it is our fault. No, it's not. It's the fox and the raccoons, but it as care providers, it is our fault for not protecting the flock. We don't have our dog out there. I got a guard goose. She'll honk, and I know the difference between and you know what I mean. And I go out there with the pop poo poo, and I go out there, and whatever's on this property don't belong on here, and you're not part of the clan, and you're looking at my animals as if they were a food item. yeah, bad things are going to happen for you. But yeah, we lost a few animals here. Still got my goat. He's all right. I just wish Charles would give me his girls. I'd take those does, and I'd have 3, and then take the wood that he's got down there and build a proper size house and pen for them. So. Wicked Shire Project, first 3-hour live, 2 hours and 45 minutes. 10 people in chat, 21 thumbs up. About approximation of 25, 26, 27 people have checked in. Thank you. Appreciate it. Don't know why you guys are so bored. Paul, one of our drummers from Boston. Paul, why don't I have a wrench next to my name, Bill? You don't like it anymore. All right, so wrenches and stuff, as long as you don't abuse the privilege, you understand how to use it. See, here's the thing, Paul. I don't know if it's really you or someone that's jumped on. I can't tell 100%. I assume it's you. So the reason why I don't give wrench out to some people, like, I don't know. I mean, I assume it's you. I assume it, but until I'm 100% sure, that's you. Yep. Stop. I already got you. I'll hook you up. Stand eyes. Save. You got me. That's all you had to say. Like, I'm waiting. I can't ask you for that. I have to wait for go ahead, say hello. So yeah, Paul's an old friend. I grew up with him. I was 17 when I met you. I think he was 19, but he's was one of our drummers, and we just jam out once in a while. We're just kids, we're having fun. So we used to play Dungeons and Dragons together. Nobody knew that. I was a dungeon master at one time, and so was he. So we had fun. Well, he got better. Oh, it turned me into a newt. Yeah, that's a fantastic. See, Paul, you make a stink, and then you prove who you are. I have to know. I can't assume. Like, all the people that I have, I know them. Like, I've seen them. I've talked to them and stuff. I know 100% sure there's no malicious against the channel, because some people don't like me. They don't like what I do here. They don't like the off-grid. They don't like the solar. They don't like people struggling, surviving. They don't like a lot of people that are in the channel that are more successful and stuff. All these people here, there's just some malicious people that are around. So, and the reason why I make moderators, people I know, is because I know them, and they've earned a status, and I'm 100% sure I know who everybody is. I'm just saying. But they're malicious. There's malicious people out there, so I just got to be careful. You know. But there you go, moderator status. Any trolls come in spamming, you're a jerk, you're a jerk, you're not off grid, you're not off grid, you boot them right out. I don't care. I give moderator status to trust that people won't have fat fingers and block people by accident. So I don't want to go through the undoing stage of that type of stuff. Okay, phone battery's low. Gotta stop Jenner. See you later. I understand that. We got full sun, so we're making tons of power, so I'm not worried about it. Go do your stuff. Go do your generator stuff. 12 minutes, almost 12 minutes left. Will I make it to 3 hours? I don't know. We used to have to play that way way back in the day. Nobody had dice except for the D6s, right? You could still use D6s. You invented it, right? Invented a way to play on the D6s. So there was a lot. It was glorious. So, Jason, the way Paul and I used to play is we didn't have manuals. I mean, we did to start out to learn. We probably played Keep Over the Borderlands and stuff. You learn Dungeons and Dragons. But we literally, out of our minds, we created scenarios and stuff, and just did the whole Dungeons and Dragons thing. You know, you meet up at a bar, you meet at a tavern, the White Wolf Dragon Horned Inn. Outside is an old man with one eye shaking a cup and a cane at you. keeping an eye. He's, you know, he seems kind of nervous and wary as you approach him. And you roll for an encounter and see how the guy views the party. And is he going, is it actually someone trying to rob? Is it an old magic user in there? Is it somebody that's secretly hiding himself that has blight waiting to poison people that are going to go into the inn and spread that? And then that party members and all that party would be responsible from the town and be chased by the town, and they'd have to figure a way to defend themselves and keep themselves some justice because they bring on the blight. Maybe they put a potion in their drink and polymorph them into a beautiful woman when it's one of the barbarian heroes, and she's now beating everybody up in the bar and goes for the axe and slams someone over the head with a club. Yeah, we would have fun with Dungeons and Dragons. We just create scenarios and we'd roll from there, you know, just going on adventures and stuff, which is fun. And then you would have a theme. I always had a theme. It was like, the goal is there's a blight on this town and they have to find the blight. Well, I don't have the end of the story. These guys here, my crew of like 4 or 5 of us, we'd create the story. I'd feed off them. They'd feed me information, and I'd just roll with it. We had good times. Yeah, D&D was wonderful back then. Eagle, love D&D. Also, Pathfinder on 3.5 platform is great. Shadowrun. It's the D6 champions too. We had the most fun, right? Yeah. GURPS. That one never took off. Sorry, Steve. Oh. We did Mech Warrior. We had the battle mats out for Mech Warrior. Where are my dice? They got me wanting my dice. My dice are somewhere. I don't know where they are. I'm not going to look for them. Well, I was looking for that. That is my bag of heat shrink for doing my wires up. I'm making MC4 connectors. So for solar, I got to build them for Gale. So you get the MC4 connector kit. And then we get the roll of wire. We'd measure it out. We'd strip it. We'd cut it. And then end up building her MC4 connectors. So I got a pair of those going down to her. She has an Ames solar charge controller, 100 VOC, open voltage. 100 VOC is the max solar voltage it can handle. VOC, not the max wattage. It's just an open voltage. 100 max on that solar charge controller before you burn out the components. And it's 15 amps. So she can have a maximum of 15 amps. She's running at 12 volts, 15 amps, about 300 or so watts she can handle. A little over that, but 300 is good. Small system, and she just needs to trickle charge her batteries and maintain her batteries during the day. I can throw that away, right? Yeah. Oh, my shoulders. I haven't let my chickens out. Oh, I've been on live too long. Yeah, and 7 minutes I'm going to pop off. I'm going to go feed the animals. So, I've been hanging out here for entertaining at least 10 people for the last 3 hours. In and out. People washing in and out. So. Paul, he's my lightning bolt in a subtle rain cave. Oh, if you make a character on Dungeons and Dragons Online, I guess you server, our guild is the Sacred Order of the Azure Flame. Just tell an officer Jason sent you. You're gaming. Is it Dungeons and Dragons Online? Is it like EverQuest where you make a character and I can actually use the computer to walk through and join up like World of Warcraft? Is it that style, or is it more of a email thing back and forth like old school? What is Dungeons and Dragons Online? So it's an actual. Is it still free to play? Is there level caps on that? What's the access like? I'm just asking a lot of questions. I did play Dungeons and Dragons Online a long time ago. It was different, much like Dark Ages of Camelot is different. Paul, you taking off? All right, catch you later, Paul. Send me seeds. Don't send me seeds. I got too many. I'm when I get seeds, I'm looking for things I need, things I actually can eat. I mean, I'll The reason why I eat watermelon, but I grow it for fun because I don't think I can grow watermelon. So if I do grow watermelon down here, then I'm happy, and I can show it on film and be like, we grew watermelon. What did you grow? But I don't know much about watermelon. I just know that they're. I do know a lot about watermelon. We could probably talk about watermelon, how they're grown. It's watermelon seeds, right? After they propagate, if you get them sprouted, get them in the ground. Definitely want a lot of compost. Want heavy feeders. Want to get around there. Cannot let the soil dry out. Cannot have mud either. And then vine's going to vine out, and you cut the first 2 fruit off. Only if you've got a 3rd flower, 4th flower on there. You can need some fruit. After that vine gets 6 feet, focus on 1 fruit. That gets pollinated, bulbs up. That's the only watermelon you're going to have on your watermelon vine. That's it. But Billy, I could have grew 5 watermelon. Good luck to you. Be smart. Plant many watermelon seeds. Keep single vines for each one. I guarantee that watermelon will grow full. If they're the smaller varieties, maybe do 2. And if you're good at it, I don't have to tell you what to do. Do whatever you want. Grow 3, 4, 5 on a vine. You know what you're doing. But if you don't know, grow 1 watermelon. Master the art of growing 1 species of watermelon per vine. 6 vines out there. 6 fruit at the end of the year. Whatever. Do that first. When you get good at it, you can start adding another watermelon on next time you grow. Say, I got 2 flowers I want to keep. Good for you. You know that you can grow 1. Let's try to grow 2 on a vine. Go forth and so forth. Or you just experiment. Have 3 plants. Let 1 plant go natural. Let it grow out. Do whatever it wants. Right? It's going to produce fruit. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll make all 5 fruit on that. Your second plant's going to have 2. Those are going to grow. And your first plant, whatever number 1, is going to have 1 fruit. You're going to do a comparison. If they all do super well, you and I are both idiots, and we should have left all our fruit on the plant, and they would have been fine. If plant 5 struggles, and they're the size of grapefruits, personal sugar babies, and you plant 2 and plant 1 are size of, little kickballs, good size, then we knew we did the right thing. Again, it's all experimentation, which you should always leave yourself open for those options of growing multiple plants in different methods. Let it grow in its natural state, and then grow it in a scientific artsy-fartsy clip, trim, prune, pick, poke, smack, sing to, kiss, make love to your plants. Don't film that. You're a weirdo. I'm sure there's fetishes out there that kind of show that kind of stuff. Anyways, yeah, so different things. Where are we up to? 2 hours and 57 minutes. I'm hoping that you guys are fairly entertained, as I'm losing my mind here. I just don't know. Ultimately, time waster, but it's fun. Right, yeah. I was a guild leader in World of Warcraft. We played EverQuest as I was a kid. I was in my early 20s. So EverQuest had first came out. We joined a guild there. We all got together, and we learned the game, right? We learned the mechanics. And then we learned that me being a magic user and him being a magic user and him being a magic user was a bad idea. We need tanks. I make a paladin. Oh, now we got a tank and we got a warrior. We got both. Warrior's going to tank the boss. Paladin's going to cast, stun, and off-tank any enemies coming in. We got both windows covered. Make a Shadow Knight. We got a 3rd tank. Warrior, or the Paladin dies. Shadow Knight steps up. Life's tapped to death. Kind of like a lich. Keeping himself up. Highly armored. Swinging, doing damage. As the Rangers and the Wizards and the Clerics and Druids are healing. And the Shaman, they're poisoning and trying to heal. They suck at it. But slowing and casting things. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, so and then we switch over. We got a thing. We were working with 939 Studios and Sigil. Sony stepped in and bought out the rights and bought EverQuest. It was 939 Studios, Sigil. Anyways, one of the lawyers that worked for the company that plays games, does all that stuff, contacted our guild leader, who was a lawyer down in Florida. A young kid, too, in his 20s. He was studying. He was still in college. But we call him the lawyer. He was learning law, so he was a lawyer. They talked to each other because they spoke law. They had something in common. They jumped over and they were part of the Blizzard team for World of Warcraft. We get 20 beta keys. They said, hey, you guys want to play something new? We're like, what? World of Warcraft. Like, oh, yeah. When's that coming out? We heard about it. They're like, I got 20 beta keys. Everybody, Give me your emails and I'll mail you a beta key. We got into beta before the public. We got to beta test it and had fun. Very fun. We got to keep our characters on live. Yeah, it went live, right? And here we are. We're all level 40. People are coming in the game. They're level 1. We got to jump on the dungeons. We got to jump on learning how to use pets. We got to jump on the game mechanics, how to the quest, what was broken, what wasn't, what was functioning. We just bring our reports in. And yeah, we had fun with World of Warcraft. I was part of that couple thousand early beta testing crowd. And then we got emails again from Sigil. Was it Sigil? Or 939 Studios? I forget who they were. One or the other. We got a new game coming out called Vanguard. Flopped. What a flop. They were really pushing the boundaries of hardware and bandwidth and memory. And they were doing a terrible job at coding. So they'd send this game out, right? And there was no options. Like, there was some slider options for the shadowing, but the number of bandwidth pipeline textures and stuff that were on a video card were not great. And the code was not refined yet. It wasn't composited right. And there was no on-off option. So when you're coding and designing a game, shader blenders and all that stuff and shader texturing, leave it off until you know what you're doing as a developer and programmer. Then allow the public to go to low settings and test it. Anyways, this was full blast. And there were shadows and trees, and the whole game was moving. We've never seen graphics like this. Our graphics cards were always budget or mid-grade. They assumed that we're gamers, so we had high-end cards. The TI versions, like the titanium versions of whatever was being pushed out for diamond back then. Yeah, diamond cards. Or stealth card. Who remembers? And then NVIDIA was new on the market at that time. And we were just, some people were affording them, but they're putting them in old systems, an old AGP video graphics card. Yeah, no PCI Express then. Well, it's AGP. AGP times 4, AGP times 8 lanes. Who knows? And then DirectX 9.0C was written for that time, and what a mess. I can just tell you, what a mess putting all that stuff together. Did I talk people out of the room? 9 guys are still in here listening to Dungeons and Dragons stories. What's wrong with you? Jason's a nerd. He knows. He gets it. So anyways, yeah, we go into Vanguard, and our games, we open a door up, and it glitches, and you can see through the door to the entire forest. You didn't actually go in the house, and it was rendering all the shadows in at once. The game would just go into frame rate, frame by frame rate. It was terrible. Anyways, they fixed that, and then we were falling through the world, going across a bridge. Like, we are the holy knights of Knee, going across the bridge to Fair Maiden to go rescue. And we're going across the bridge, the party, and all of a sudden we fall into the bridge, and some of us just fall through and die. So yeah, glitchy. Game was really glitchy. We'd report bridges glitched out, sprites are forming and artifacts are forming everywhere. This game looks like shit. We want out. And then all of a sudden, guess who shows up on? Yeah, they wrote multi-million-dollar check. Sony shows up, goes to Vanguard. Huh? They write. They want the rights to it. They want to release it. They're hearing all this hype about this. We're working on the game. We're beta testers. We're just working on the game, trying to get it out to the public. Nothing fancy. Just making sure that when you were in Pentwood Forest, that the music was consistent within that graphical geological biome of that zone. You know, just make sure it was working. Shit wasn't working. There was overlay and echoing, and you would step. It would just sound like a dinosaur was behind you. It was just a guy with the horse. The ponies were even worse. Clop, clip, clop, clip. I'm like, what is that sound? Echo, echo, echo. And it was double stacking and stuff. Yeah, there was issues. Game wasn't finished. They release it. Sony buys it for multi-millions. And 929 says, see us. And I was like, we're all getting kicked out. He's like, yep, we don't own it. Later. And that ended that beta testing. Yeah, funny. They released it to the public and talked about things that failed or didn't make it. The whole point of that being is that game crashed and it failed. Vanguard. And they hired tons of people to come in, and the coding was all messed up. And they had to recode and do everything. Yeah, they burnt a lot of money for nothing. Game didn't take off. I'm sure it has 100 people playing it. You know, a small group of people that, I like this game. And they support it. And then who knows what server it stayed on or how long it's existed or if it's even alive. I can't even download or find it. I don't know where it is. Dark Ages of Camelot, played that, didn't like it. Too repetitive. Too one-sided. When you have 3 factions fighting and one has victory and more resources, they win. You gotta wait for those guys to go to sleep, right? Because nobody's online. It's just the defenders. People from Australia are up there. There's like 100 people, and like there's 2,000 Americans coming in, and Canadians and Mexicans and South Americans. We're all awake. It's our side of the world. 100 people versus 2,000. You're getting wiped, and we'd reclaim and fight back. Where are we at? So we are at the 3 hour and 5 minute mark. I think I'm going to end it here. That's awesome hearing about your times. I love geeking out, right? Yeah, I got a 5800H Ryzen AMD sitting in here, Radeon. 16 gigabytes of 3200 RAM. I don't know. There's an NVEM 2.0 solid state card in there that we try to keep cool. And yeah, it's a fantastic little powerhouse. 8 core, 8 virtual core, 16 thread. It's a pretty powerhouse of a little thing. I can have multiple things going on. I'm able to edit my videos without freezing. All right, Lazy Acres, take off. Everybody, to the wonderful 8 people that have stuck in the stream and wasted their better half of the day. I'm glad you found some modicum of entertainment, and I'm going to end it here. So thank you for joining the Shire project. Off grid, having a mental breakdown, and very excited. Thank you, Heidi, from Becoming a Green Stalker, for sending us out those seeds, and we'll give you a shout out later, and hopefully we'll show that in the process over the course of the year being grown, and get some of those videos up. And thanks for helping us produce food. Really, thank you. So maybe if when I see you on one of these chats and lives, I'll point you over to like, yeah, don't watch 3 hours. Go to the 3 hour mark and just watch the thank you at the end. You don't have to. You lose your mind watching this. I've lowered everybody's IQ score, and I've made everybody a lot dumber because I'm a mental vampire. You guys are welcome. And I'm going to end stream at that one. So we'll catch you on the next one, and I'll catch you guys in other live chats. See you. Oh, and Little Ridge Farm. Hi. But yeah, I've been on for 3 hours, brother. My brain's just cooked. And nobody watches live streams over. Don't fool yourself. You're not that important. Like me, I don't expect anybody to watch this. And I put chapter break or last live stream. It makes it watch. Hi, welcome to the half hour mark. What do they call that? Not intermediate. When you pause in a movie, you go get popcorn and take a pee. One of those breaks. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Chapter breaks. Let's skip the boring stuff. Yeah, this whole chit chat was boring. Got exciting at the end. I talked about poop somewhere in here. I don't know. You guys have to rewatch to find out. Thanks for watching the Shire project, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Hit that like button. Later. End stream. Goodbye.